Honoring the divine for inspiration and blessings, we now invite Dushyant Acharya for the invocation song.
ಶ್ರೀ ಗಣೇಶ ಕಂಡ ನಿನ್ನ ಕಮಲದಂಗ್ರಿಯ ಈಗ ಪಾಲಿಸೆನಗೆ ನೀನೆ ಮನದ ಭೀಷ್ಟ ಸಿದ್ಧಿಯ ಶ್ರೀ ಗಣೇಶ ಕಂಡ ನಿನ್ನ ಕಮಲದಂಗ್ರಿಯ ಚಂದ್ರ ಸೂರ್ಯನಂತೆ ಮೆರವ ಕಾಯ ಕಾಂತಿಯ ಅಖಂಡರಾದ್ರಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಿಷ್ಣು ಪೂಜಿತಾಂಗ್ರಿಯ ಚಂದ್ರ ಸೂರ್ಯನಂತೆ ಮೆರವ ಕಾಯ ಕಾಂತಿಯ ಅಖಂಡರಾದ್ರಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಿಷ್ಣು ಪೂಜಿತಾಂಗ್ರಿಯ ಸೊಂಡಿಲಿಂದ ಮೆಲುವ ಪಂಚಭಕ್ಷ ರಾಶಿಯ ಸೊಂಡಿಲಿಂದ ಮೆಲುವ ಪಂಚಭಕ್ಷ ರಾಶಿಯ ಖಂಡಿಸಿರ್ದೆ ಇಕ್ಷು ಕಡಲೆ ಮೋದಕ ಪ್ರಿಯ ಖಂಡಿಸಿರ್ದೆ ಇಕ್ಷು ಕಡಲೆ ಮೋದಕ ಪ್ರಿಯ ಶ್ರೀ ಗಣೇಶ ಕಂಡೆ ನಿನ್ನ ಕಮಲದಂಗ್ರಿಯ
ಇಬ್ರು ಹೋಗಿ
and express our deepest gratitude for your invaluable role in making this day a reality.
Here for me because it's being back with the family again. Now, my father always used to call Nadoja W. Krishna sir as his elder son. And today I have the rare honor of his presence here, his blessings here, and being able to talk on the same dais in the same college where my father also served for some time. I've been invited by 150 countries to talk to different scientists, professionals and students. But when the call came from this law college, I didn't ask any details. I said, okay, I'll come. Because it's coming to the fact. So it's a very beautiful workshop they have planned, and they have invited a lot of eminent speakers here. Obviously they'll be talking from their vast experience. But before the workshop proceedings start, I'd like to probably set some expectations here. This is not another workshop where you just participate 2 days, get a certificate, go home and forget everything. That's not going to help anybody. Because you won't get this opportunity to interact with speakers from this background. So try to make good use of that, interact with them, ask questions. Whatever you heard about AI, forget it for some time. Whatever narratives are there in media, most of it is personal opinions, not professional. So good or bad, whatever it is, just forget it for 2 days. Come with an open mind, interact, learn something. And what I would do if I were in your position is try to see how I can use AI in my profession. Whether I'm going to be a practicing lawyer or I'm going to be a consultant or I'm going to do anything, how is that I'm going to do? There's no option today. There's nothing like tomorrow AI will come. AI is already there yesterday. And we're using it. We're using it without knowing it or not knowing it. We are already using it. And we continue to use it even though we have some firm opinions against it. There's no choice. So, again, Krishna sir is leading this esteemed organization. The trust is growing under his leadership, and he wants to make this as not a center of education, but a center of excellence, comparable to any good university in the world. So let us all support him in that endeavor, and since this is just an inauguration session, I'd like to limit my talk here, and we'll discuss further when I get the opportunity. Thank you all for
Dr. Uday, Madam Pranita, and distinguished faculty and young budding lawyers from across. How many colleges?
Around
About 40 colleges. You are all lucky, take it from me, because the best persons in the field are with you today. Dinesh Rao, Udayji and all that. See, they are all experts in their field, international level experts, and they are going to share knowledge with you. And I have always been telling Madam Pranita that, we want to empower students with knowledge. That is the job of an institution. We are not, employment exchanges. We don't assure you that we will give you employment, we will give you this, that and all that. Empower you with knowledge, and when you are empowered, see, the world is open and you can, come out with flying colors. And today, my dear friends, AI, why AI, everything, see, digitalization, everything has, it has permeated the whole scheme of life. Take any field, today it has touched, and therefore, as he rightly said, we are all talking of AI, but people have moved from AI to another arena already. But that is the way technology is going. Technology none can fight. It keeps moving in a very fast manner. But then we have to catch up with it and make the best use of it and see that our work becomes more efficient. It will only help us to make us more efficient. Not that it will replace lawyers, not that it will replace teachers, but whatever you do, it will be the efficiency will be more, the rate of doing work will become increased. This is the thing that you will all keep in mind, but basically there is nothing equal to the human brain in the entire world. Even artificial intelligence is a creation of, after all, the mind, and therefore you have to be judicious in its use, you have to make the best use of it. And I am very happy and grateful to Dr. Uday. He is such a distinguished person, I must tell you, because if I go without telling anything, he comes from a brilliant background. ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಸಿದ್ದಯ್ಯ ಪುರಾಣಿಕ ಅವ್ರ ಹೆಸರು ಕೇಳಿದಿರಲ್ಲ, ಎಂಥ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕವಿ, ಇವರ ದೊಡ್ಡಪ್ಪ, ಇವರ ಅವ್ರ ಬ್ರದರು ಅನ್ನದಾನಯ್ಯ ಪುರಾಣಿಕ ಅಂತ, ಇವರ ತಂದೆಯವರು ಅವರು, he was also a very distinguished advocate. For years, I think for several years, he was the government advocate in High Court of Karnataka, and then he had such good practice there. And he was also a very good writer, and he was one of the founding pillars of the Basava Samiti, along with the late Vice President, Dr. B.D. Jatti. All this, he has such a brilliant background. His sister was a principal of our evening college. And we have seen the whole family, they are associated with Sheshadapuram group of institutions, and they have contributed immensely. And I am very happy. He told you, I was really surprised when Madam told that he really agreed. He said, the moment I said we are from Shesh, he really agreed. That means you should know, such a man of such eminence, he has agreed because of the close family ties that he has with this institution, that emotional connection he has with this institution. Please make the best use of it. I would request all of you. And one wonderful thing he told, come with a clean slate, with a blank mind. Don't have prejudices. Don't think, whatever you have learned now, see, unlearning is also very much important. Unlearning. So you come without any pride or prejudice, sit like a humble student, and I think you will be able to gather more. And I only feel, I was always telling Madam, why we need to give children 360-degree education is, see, when you leave the portals of the institution, say in 3, 4, 5 years, technology is moving at its own pace, but then you should not feel that the college has not done enough. You should feel that college has also responded to the changing times and then given you inputs more than what the university has said. So that is our goal, and this value additive program, I think, will make you all enriched in the next 2 days. please be attentive, please have, take notes, please have the habit of note taking, this is very important, and then freely interact with all the experts. That is very important. Your questions, however silly they may be, sometimes it generates a lot of good ideas, and you may get ideas which would otherwise not come up in a workshop. That is the whole purpose. In fact, I told madam, workshop should not have more than 48 people. But then, I think it is now going to 80?
Yes, it's 100, sir.
Oh God. Anyway, it's all right. But still, please make the best use of it. I wish you all Godspeed. Thank you.
We'll start with some basics. One of the facts is AI is not new. The foundations of AI was laid in 18th century. The first programmer of the world, or the first software programmer of the world was a woman. Anybody knows her name? No? Anybody remembers Lord Byron? Lord Byron. Byron, no. New generation, yeah. Huh? Ada Lovelace. Her name is Ada Lovelace, and she is the first programmer of the world. And whatever we today talk about IT, BT, AI, there's immense contribution from women at every level. Unfortunately, we have forgotten it, or we don't continue to remember it for whatever reason, and it's very sad. It makes me very sad because I have to keep repeating this in every talk. One side we talk about women empowerment, and second thing, we don't want to remember women contribution. So AI, cyber security, the foundations are from 18th century. This is not a new thing. Now, what is AI? I said forget whatever you have heard about ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok. This is all conversational AI. You ask something, it tries to give some answer, and whether it is correct or not, it's up to you. There's a disclaimer. It says that AI need not be correct, it can make mistakes. Now you still take it, cut and paste it, then what happens to your assignment and answers? Your teachers know about it. So I'm not talking about all this conversational AI, I'm not talking about narratives about AI, I'm talking about real AI. Real AI, where we are working and where even our country is contributing a lot. Unfortunately, that's not coming in mainstream media for whatever reasons. So in this talk, I'll be talking about how and where we are using AI in different fields of forensics. It's a very vast subject, and since there are other speakers who have been invited, I don't want to, get into their domain. So in whatever time has been given to me, I'll try to address at least some areas where AI is being used, already being used extensively, and you should know that. So second thing is, AI does not require you to know programming language. If somebody says you have to learn Python, only then you can use AI, you have to learn something else, only then you will do it. No, not required. There are two aspects. One is you are what we call as a power user. You're going to use the AI application. Second is the AI developer. Developers come from technical background and they may need to know software and other things. You can learn if you want, no harm in that, but it's not a must. That everybody should know software, everybody should know everything. There are a lot of software people who don't like programming. Not that everybody likes programming, and you might have heard some narrative that AI itself will do programming. So all the people are being removed from IT industry because of AI and all that stuff. Now that's all narratives. AI is not removing people. If at all people are losing jobs, they're losing jobs or not getting jobs because they don't know AI. Today it is a must-have skill. If you don't have the skill, you don't get a job or you don't continue to work. As simple as that. So learn the skill, learn whatever is required for your profession, and personal interest, you can always learn more about it. So I'll straight away try to go into this box. No, this is a recording.
It's a recorder.
Yeah, okay. Couple of things here. I will try to touch on digital forensics. Lot of things you hear in the media, cyber crime, cyber crime, cyber crime. Ideally, it should be cyber security. We are glorifying crime. In some unknown phase, we are creating a narrative. Somebody sits in a village called Jamtara, and he or she does crime 24 hours, nobody knows who they are. So intelligent people. Somebody sits in some Timbuktu and to do all this cyber attack and all that stuff. No, that's not true. That's all narratives. We are not worried about crime. The crime will continue to happen, and we should look at security. So one of the narratives again in cybercrime is it's impossible to find out who did a crime. One of the so-called cyber experts on live television in Kannada made a very damaging statement. She is supposed to be advisor to the state government on cyber security. That's where I think it's a damaging statement. India does not have technology to find out IP address, so we are not able to find out who the cyber criminals are. Now this is a live show on a premier channel, and this lady made the statement, and I don't know what is the fate of cyber police in this state. Finding out an IP address is the easiest thing to talk about, and I don't know where she got this narrative from. So you can give any number of excuses for not finding out anything. I'm not getting into that part of it. I'm trying to talk about where we're using AI. So one of the areas we use AI is data analysis. There's a huge amount of data being generated every day. And then second is we also use an incident response. If at all there's a crime or attempted crime, then how you can try to identify that, how can you react to it. See, when we talk about cyber security, it is not about cyber crime. Cyber security for us is prevention of cyber crime. Prevention comes first. Proactively can you identify a crime from happening? Answer is yes. A crime can be identified 30 days in advance. Even before a crime is done, 30 days in advance you can know that the crime is going to happen. In 30 days you can take all the measures to prevent the crime from happening. So that should be the focus of cyber police or cyber security or anybody. How do you prevent crime? Okay, you have taken all the precautions and in spite of it a crime did happen. Then how do you manage the crime? How do you limit the damage? That is managing the crime. Third part is how do you investigate crime? Who did it? What happened? That is what we call as cyber forensics. Some people also call it as digital forensics. So what you find in this slide is 3 areas where we try to prevent a crime from happening, manage a crime when it happens, and also in investigation. That is forensics of the cyber crime. For fraud detection, always you hear somebody online came and promised some huge investment or a huge return on investment, somebody transferred money and they lost that money and that other person is not receiving call, and all this is happening because banks started using apps, banks started using computers. Earlier banks were very safe. Now because of technology, crime is happening. Again narratives. So anything can go on. You can always blame anybody for anything, but that's not fact, right? The question is, you have fraud detection. This is not a new technology. This has been there for the last 40 years. So you may be pestered with spam calls, right? you get all the calls on your mobile, all odd hours. And every service provider boss have implemented AI. We are stopping spam calls, we are stopping that, reduce our numbers and all that. Why are you still getting the calls? Why are you still getting SMS? You don't have to do anything. In any telecom service provider, whether it's Jio, Airtel, whatever it is, integral part of telecom is fraud management software. That identifies it. You don't require some specialized AI to do it. What is fraud management? From my number, if I am repeatedly calling 100 people, it identifies it's a potential fraud. Then you investigate whether I really need to call 100 people. As a person, I don't need to call 100 people. Maybe once in a while possible, but not every day. But all the spam calls you get, you put an app like Truecaller. How many of you use Truecaller? All of you. Very good. So that's the end of your security. You're teaching Truecaller what you're doing. Yeah? Then you blame somebody took my photograph, somebody took my video, somebody did something else. So don't go in for these shortcuts. Now that's not just with Truecaller. There are a lot of clones of Truecallers available on net. Everybody says, oh, we'll identify, we'll do that, we'll do this. It's not always going to help you. So, question is, when somebody calls 1,000 calls a day, 2,000 calls a day, the fraud management software in telecom company should be able to block that number. If that is not blocking, then the telecom company is not doing its work. So it's AI or without AI, they are supposed to do that. If they are not doing it and they want to get some publicity saying we implemented AI, we did that, this, it's all PR job. So from legal perspective, whenever my call is blocked or I am not able to communicate with somebody, like a client comes to me and says that, there's a restriction on using my phone, my messages are not reaching people, I've been listed out as spam, and somebody sent a message in my number, I'm not responsible. Then you have to investigate these things. These are basic technologies which help you find out what really happened. Your client may have a narrative, but from technical perspective, when you do investigation, there are 3 areas which you will find out. Now, can you tamper any of this? No. It doesn't matter whether you did it 5 years before or 10 years before or 15 years before. Digital evidence cannot be tampered. You can change your phone, change your SIM card, change your name, get a new Aadhaar card, do anything you want, but whatever you do in digital space, you cannot delete it. I deleted my social media account. Yeah, you deleted it because you are not seeing it. You are not seeing it, but it's there. Digital footprint is always there. And when we talk of forensics, that gives us from day one what all you have done. How many people you fought with, how many people you friend, unfriend, trolled, whatever you did, everything is there. Maybe childish, maybe serious, whatever it is, that can't be erased. So don't go with what you see on the screen. I remove this app, so I am safe. I didn't put my name on a social media account, I am safe. I said, right now I am in Paris, I am in Bangalore, how will I find out? I threw my phone. They don't have a phone. How will they find out? You don't require a phone. Technology is so advanced. So these are some areas where we are using AI to do more. This is the challenge what we have. 1 terabyte, that's almost like whatever you have in your, well, this is less for your laptop, right? 1 terabyte, you don't even accept it. You want more. But that what 1 terabyte of data converts into all those 85 million text documents. Or you want to look at video, then you have 500 hours of video. How do you process it without AI? 500 hours. You put a team of 5 people to watch 500 hours video and then to find out what happened, how much time they take, how much manpower is invested, how much errors can happen. If the video quality is bad or something else happened, then you lose everything. So 1 terabyte, I'm talking about 1 terabyte here, and today we are talking about gigabytes, thousands of terabytes being generated every second in the world. Every second. So whenever somebody says, 1 minute I'll come, in that 1 minute, millions of YouTube videos would have been updated, millions of posts have been done in social media, people would have left social media, people would have joined social media, a lot of posts would have happened, Insta followers would have increased, decreased, anything could have happened in 1 minute. 1 minute is a big thing. And 1 terabyte is not small. You may not agree with your laptop, 1 terabyte is so small. I don't know what you do with 1 terabyte because I never found a need to fill 1 terabyte on my laptop in all these years. But whenever I talk to you people, I mean your generation, 1 terabyte is too small. So it always happens, you're getting all this, without asking. So you're always demanding more and more and more. I want 2 terabyte, I want separate hard disk, I want a SIM card, I want the SD card, you want so many things. But what you're storing in that? How are you going to use it? It has to be structured, otherwise you will have all over the place. Like what I put in the first slide, you will have pictures, you will have video, you will have text documents. Your information is scattered everywhere. Suppose you have saved 1000 files in your folder and somebody asks you about a date, about a particular subject, can you search? Unless you have a proper way of labeling your files, it's very, very difficult. Even email search you can't. But I want multiple accounts. Gmail is not enough. Somebody is hacking it. I'll go for Proton Mail. Proton Mail is in Europe. Maybe somebody may hack that. I'll have one more alternative mail. Why do you worry? If you have nothing to hide, it doesn't matter even if somebody reads your mail or doesn't read your mail. And I always find this funny YouTube videos, somebody says, your phone is listening to you. Yeah, I'm talking AI here, and now if I connect to social media, I'll find only AI everywhere. No, phone is listening, Google is listening. It doesn't happen like that. See, what is AI doing? It is trying to create a pattern. It doesn't care whether you talk about AI or BI or CI, it doesn't care, it doesn't understand anything of it. It thinks you are interested in a subject. It will try to identify whatever is closely related to that. If you are talking AI movie here, it will think maybe you are interested in a movie. It doesn't ask you whether it's English movie, Kannada movie, Hindi movie, it doesn't ask anything. It will just list out 1 dozen movies and think, what do you think? You agree with that suggestion, then it thinks, oh, okay, you are interested in movie. Otherwise, it will try to show something else. See, it's just pattern recognition. It's no intelligence there. When somebody says it's a super intelligence, it's going to rule the world, robots are going to come here, that's all hallucination. You understand hallucination? Hallucination, that's all. Fear. We are living in a fear, we are living in a worry, what happens tomorrow, if I lose a job, what will happen? Fear, there's no future. Because technology is going to do everything, I don't have a future. So what do we do? So please come out of this vicious cycle of fear and worry. If you have the skills, you pay your bills. It is your skills that pay your bills, nothing else. Just focus on skills, pick up whatever the skills are required and work on that. Can you just move? This is a real-time example. A lot of people say that no, you can't investigate cybercrime and all that stuff. Now what I try to show here is how things work. For example, example, if you look at people trying to attempt a cyber crime, it doesn't happen overnight. No crime happens overnight. There will be a lot of attempts being done just to see how secure you are. We call it reconnaissance. They try to find out how secure you are. Now what we try to say is, there are so many ways you can find out if somebody is trying to even test your security. Like that, if somebody has attempted a crime, somebody has tried to do something, there are so many standard methods available, so many technologies available. You just have to use the right tools, right methods, and you get this in real time. Real time. While we are talking here, you have tools which can show crime being happening anywhere in the world. So there's nothing like somebody sits in Jamtara, does something and vanishes. Doesn't happen like that. You can always track them back. Now, if you don't have this, or you don't know this properly, you don't have it as secondary, at least you should know that this is there, then you always come with excuses. It's not possible to find out, we don't have technology for IP address, and all that stuff. Narratives. Now how far you can go? I have tracked down cyber criminals who have done crime 20 years back. They change their identity, change their country. I'd like to share an example here. We all are worried about cybercrime against children. I don't know if numbers make it more interesting or more sad. Every year, 6 lakh children are victims of cybercrime. 6 lakhs. And this particular incident I'd like to share is about a woman who exploited children, child pornography. And she didn't do it for one day, she did it for 20 years. And she changed her name, changed the country where she belonged to, she got a new passport, new identity. It took some effort to track her down, but we could finally track her down. And finally, when we located her in Ireland, she was staying in a village there, and when we informed the police that this is her background, why don't you go arrest her? The police were not accepting it. I said, no, how can this be? She has such a good name here. She's doing so much charity. You're doing so much of service here. Now how can you go tell us if you're a crime criminal or you're accused of a crime? It can't be, maybe some mistaken identity. Yes, finally, to cut the long story short, we could identify her. The sad part of the incident is, this lady, 57 years old, when she was arrested, there was 40,000 hours of child pornography with her. 40,000 hours. Just imagine how many children have been victim to her cybercrime. No remorse. Now her argument was, I am doing this because there are people who are willing to pay and watch this. If there is nobody willing to watch this or pay for it, why I am doing it? So you should also address that part of the problem. I agree with that, but that doesn't give me right to do whatever I am supposed to do. So it doesn't matter, 20 years back somebody did something, 15 years back somebody did something, vanished, you can still track them down. 2 days back, with the help of FBI, we tracked down one person who was immigrated to America. He comes from a Middle Eastern country, but he thought by going to America he will hide his identity. And it was really sad, we have this kind of people also, we're living with this kind of people in the society. He has targeted the two sisters of age 5 years. 5 years, twins. And repeatedly, what could I say, made pornographic videos about them with a very high level of sexual abuse and sold it. Now, how could anybody do with a 5-year-old child for years together and still hide about it is a secondary part of it. But what I'm trying to say is today technology is so advanced, you can track down, you can find out whoever it is, wherever they are. Only thing you should know how to do that. That's important. Yeah. So could you know? So this is some of the tools what we use. A lot of people say that you can't create evidences and all that. So we play very careful on whatever photographs, videos you share on social media. Now, why do you want to share your birthday on social media? You have to think about it. A lot of people write their entire life history there. Nursery is this school, primary is this school, these are my friends, these are my family members. You give out all the details and then come and tell me that, somebody created a fake profile. Please share information, but share it with selected people, not public. Common mistake is we share our phone number. Don't share your phone number. It doesn't matter if somebody gives a lucky draw or whatever discount, whatever they talk about, reward points, whatever it is. Please don't share your phone number. Phone number is very valuable. Every valid phone number today earns $5 in cybersecurity, cybercrime market, $5. And if it belongs to ladies, the price is more. So be careful next time somebody asks your phone number, do you want to share that? And don't go to argument, who will do anything with my phone number? Your phone number is valid and that's important. So the second part is, if you are getting phone calls from unknown numbers, please think whether you should accept it. Most of the times we have this habit, missed call. Somebody calls, cut the call, then we blame the network, blame the government, blame God, everybody. And think maybe they couldn't connect, so we try to call back. You may get a message saying that this number does not exist. Or the concerned person is not reachable. Why do they do that? To make sure your phone number is working. Third mistake, you all have maybe more than one phone, or whenever you buy a phone, you ask for phone with more than 2 cameras, 3 cameras, whatever it is. What happens to that? You carry your phone everywhere, You can't live without phone. You sleep with your phone. Next to your phone should be there. Morning when you get up, you should see the phone. Then you will look at anybody else. What happens to my father, mother, anybody, but first phone should be there. What are you doing? You are taking your phone to your personal space. All that fancy cameras on your phone record you. They take your photographs. The microphone records your voice. And somebody sitting thousands of kilometers away can misuse it. Why? One common mistake. Whenever I take a SIM connection, I ask how much GB internet free. 2 GB per day, 3 GB per day, some plan they will say. I am paying for it. I connect to internet and it's on. Whether I'm sleeping or I'm not using the phone, whatever I am, internet is always on. So internet is on, your phone is with you. So whatever you're doing, whatever you're talking, somebody can hear, somebody can record. Next part, they'll try to blackmail. Then you will complain, somebody has put some invisible camera in my bedroom, somebody is recording without my consent, that's your phone. My suggestion, think about it. Don't take your phone to your personal space. If you want to use internet, please use internet, but use it only for the time you want it. You don't have to have 24 hours internet. Same with your broadband. I paid for it, yeah, let it be on. I'm here, my broadband at home is working. And when was the last time I checked the password and remember it? No, somebody came, put a connection, it's working. I'm paying bill. And that will be loose password, maybe a phone number, 1234. Because that guy who put the internet should remember that, right? So he'll put some number which is easy for him. And the same password he would have put in 10 different phones. So anybody can access your home. So it tells when I'm here, I'm not there at home, so I'm inviting some potential thief to come and take whatever he or she wants from my home. Location sharing. I can put on social media, I am right now at Sheshadripuram in this workshop, talking to these people. Do I need to do that? I'm having coffee at this coffee shop. I'm at airport. I'm going from Bangalore to wherever. Do you want to share every detail of your life? We give out so much of information without asking, and then we get into trouble. So be careful with what you share. So this is some of the tools what we try to find out, whatever is happening when our people are unfortunate victims of cybercrime or even otherwise. This is in forensic medicine. I think Dinesh Rao will be talking in detail about it, but I just thought I'd try to introduce how we are doing AI in medical forensics. The common language is postmortem. Now, postmortem is traditionally done whenever there's a natural death or there's a need for it. Medical legal cases, correct? Now, can you do that virtually? Using AI, yes, you can do that. Now, why do we do that? Why do we use AI for doing a virtual postmortem? One is, there may be incidents where it is impossible to do a regular postmortem. Maybe the body has decomposed so much, or you're not getting the entire body, you just got a bag of some human remains, you don't know what to do with it. Or maybe it's badly burnt, you still really don't know what to do with it. Or maybe you have to maintain the dignity of the person who were unfortunately passed away. So this is one area where we use AI. So I will explain in the coming thing. And second thing is, this gives more accurate representation about time of death, including cause of death. So what physically may not be noticeable to the expert, AI can show that, right up to the blood vessel, right up to the cellular level. What has happened inside the body without having to cut out on the body. So how do we do that? Could you know? This is a very standard CT scan, MRI scan machine. So what you find here is a body brought for post-mortem or whatever the remains of the body. It will be put in a bag, sealed, and that bag will be conducted to CT scan or MRI without disturbing the content or anything like that. So could you move on? So what you have is a CT scan, you have an MRI, then you have a 3D surface. 3D surface is basically trying to find out whatever is from the available remains, and then virtualization so that you can recreate the entire thing at whatever level you want. You want a physical appearance, you can do that, or you want to go to a cellular appearance, you can do that. So this is integration of multiple technologies here. When we talk AI, it is not just one technology here, we're using multiple technologies. I just give an overview of this because Dinesh probably will be talking in detail about that. So could you just know? So this is how it is done. You put the body in a sealed bag, then in seconds you get 25,000 images of the body. Why do you require 25,000 images? Because it goes into detail. From every perspective, every angle, we try to take information about the body, and in seconds you can get that. And anything that has happened internally, internal bleeding, internal breakages, hemorrhages, anything like that, even that you can get, which you may not be able to get in a regular process. So this is accepted in many countries. Even in India, they are authorized one of the pilot projects. AIMS is supposed to do that, and probably it becomes regular. So this is no different from what's the standard postmortem is. If the error rate, yes, it still requires some more training because experts have to use it more extensively. And currently we are getting positive result of up to 85%. 15% is the error rate. So we may have to correct it in the coming days, but it's still one of the potential uses, and it's acceptable in most of the European countries. 15% also they are accepting as error rate. Let us try to improve that in coming days. That's one of the areas where this is used. Second thing, pretty more. Injury analysis. Now you can find out what is the age of the injury, when it happened. Maybe the bruise could have healed, or the injury itself could have healed, or maybe not very visible marks may be available by the time it came for investigation. So even that you can track back. You can track back to whatever date you want, whatever time period you want, and you can try to recreate that. Now this is also accepted. You can get into injury analysis and even identification. Some other times the remains could be very badly decomposed, or somebody could have even tampered with the evidence. Even if somebody tries to tamper with evidence also, you can find out it. So that's also possible. So you can go up to DNA and even retinal patterns, biometrics, anything, and try to find out what has happened. So could you move? Now, police are supposed to use this. Now, I don't want to talk about Karnataka police, but I'm trying to talk about injury. Predictive, I said we can try to prevent crime, right? Now, how do you prevent crime using AI? That's one of the areas where we work on. And second thing is facial recognition. You might have seen this being discussed. Facial recognition is there in the airport. Now they're going to bring it in all public places. And they have something called as AI traffic cameras in Bangalore. Now I have my own question marks about it, but let me not get into that. But still, whatever is that AI camera supposed to do, if it does it, it's good. Now, facial recognition is plus and minus. Two things are there. One is privacy. Should all my details be shared with everybody, and what is the security of that, and what is the potential misuse? Ethics are required, governance are required. At the same time, it is required, particularly when you have threats of large-scale crime, or you have terror attacks, or you have planned crime being organized, a mob attack, like whatever is unfortunately happened in our neighboring country a couple of days back. Now, how do you identify who did it? You may have video visuals, somebody in the front, but who instigated it? Social media being down for 3 days does not mean entire country violence will spread like anything. Unless somebody is trying to do it in a very organized manner. So when this kind of incidents happen, you can't just go on with standard investigations. That's where you have to use technology. So these are some of the areas where we use it. Could you move? Now this is probably going to be of interest to you. You have done all this work, you have collected all the evidence. How do you prove to the court this won't happen? How do you recreate a crime scene? Now this is a crime scene. There are 2 beds. It's a apartment out there, and then there was a murder there. Now, how do you create the scene so that you can bring to the notice of the learned judges what really happened, what you're trying to present before them? Now, there are AI tools which will help you do this. So you have to use this kind of tools, and you can go to any granular level. Could you move to the next slide? This is narrowing down. You find there's a knife there. A knife was used to create murder, and there are blood stains near the knife. So you're trying to recreate every scenario of that crime. It's a digital recreation using AI. Now, how do you do this? You use 3D technologies to do that. Again, you can't manipulate anything there. As it is, you're going to show it. It's not like videography where you can edit something, add something, delete something. No, you could try doing it, you'll be more caught. So AI doesn't allow you to do that. For this kind of applications, it's very standard, very secure. So what you see is what you get. Now the sequence you can create. Yeah, this is what probably happened. The accused was sitting here and this is what happened. Maybe they had an argument at 6 o'clock in the evening and 7 o'clock they had some fight, 7:12 or whatever it is, unfortunate incident happened. You can try to put a timestamp, you can put your investigation and whatever evidences you have collected, so that it becomes easier for the court to appreciate whatever evidences you have collected and whatever you are trying to present before it. That's also possible. We move to the next slide. So crime scene analysis, yes, we use it there. Computer vision and AR. Now computer vision, unfortunately, is not putting a camera before your computer. That's why I said I have my own doubts about so-called AI cameras in the traffic. Narayan Murthy from Infosys made a comment. Just because you plug in a camera to already available software doesn't make it AI. So let's stop doing that. Let's stop doing that. I have a camera, now everything became AI. It doesn't transform that. So whether you use a camera or you don't use a camera doesn't matter. Computer vision is a separate AI technology. That's period, not camera. So tomorrow you may have what is called as an AI smartphone also. Now how much AI is there in the smartphone is again a questionable thing. It may be just a marketing gimmick. There may not really be AI in the phone itself. Because people want it. People say, I want my phone to be AI enabled. I want my household appliance to be AI enabled. I want my car to be enabled. Like we go with everything smart today. Smart television, smart car, smart city. In all this smart, we have forgotten art. We should have a heart city, not a smart city. So, this is some more areas. Could you come back to the previous one? So, crime scene analysis, you can do that. Doesn't matter where the crime happened, when it happened. You can try to get into details. Second is digital forensics, whatever online, as I said earlier. Whoever did it, whatever time, whatever name, whatever fake profile, you can track them down. We have been doing that. We've been doing it. We have tracked down somewhere around 8 lakh fake accounts on social media. 8 lakh. In India itself, 8 lakh social media accounts, which are fake accounts and which are primarily created to create misinformation. If I say this college is good, that won't become viral. If I say I went to a college so bad, nobody was there, that becomes viral. Bad news. That spreads. Nobody asks why anything. They just want to spread it. So this kind of fake accounts do that. They create fake videos, they create fake news, fake audios. We'll get into deep fake. I'll explain about what is deep fake also and how we investigate that. Now, they keep doing it because they get paid for it. Nobody does anything free. So it's a very organized crime. So let's be a little conscious about that. Now, second thing is image and video analysis. You have an accident somewhere. You have some unfortunate incident somewhere. We don't have smart video everywhere. See, the difference between regular video and smart video is, in a smart video, whenever there's a incident happening, it captures it. You don't have to play back the entire video. It captures exact point what happened. We still don't have it everywhere. We're trying to implement it in airports, railway station, everywhere. Till then you are depending on whatever is the video recording. So it's going to help in image and video analysis. Could you move? Biometric analysis, where you have fingerprints, retina scans, people trying to misuse that or trying to create fake identities, fake passports, documents. You can track that down. Network mapping, doesn't matter where they are, how many social media platforms they are, which city they are, which country they are, you can track them down. By the way, just for your information, since we're talking so much of cybercrime, how many cybercrime happen in an hour? Across the world, let me make it simple. You'll be my ChatGPT. I will say, okay, ChatGPT, in 130 countries, in 1 hour, how many cybercrimes happen? What will be your answer? Any number. Only 130 countries. I'm not going to all the countries. Sorry? Number. Don't put lakhs, crores, whatever number. You feel 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs. Put a number. 5 lakhs, okay. 1 crore. Then 1 hour. The number is 5 crore cybercrimes per hour. Multiply by 24 hours, you will know how many crimes are happening. So we'll just move on. Now this is one area where I mentioned about facial recognition. How do we identify a potential suspect? We use AI purpose. Now what has happened in this case is, this person has gone to a bank ATM and trying to withdraw money. That card he is using does not belong to him. A stolen card, stolen identity, he is casually walking into ATM and trying to withdraw money. So many people do every day, right? Thousands of people go to ATM. Now, will the camera keep looking at everybody and identifying it? It may be a false positive. I'll show how we do that. Could you move to the next slide? We have what is called time series pattern. If you remember your school mathematics or whatever you studied in high school, that's called as a Fourier transform. At least you remember calculus. You studied somewhere calculus, right? Okay. So we talk about time series equation. So what we do here in time series is, the person stood in front of the door. Now this is where somebody is trying to look into somebody's room before he breaks in and goes inside. So the person was sitting in front of the door at what time? Then what was he doing? He was looking through the keyhole to find out if anybody is there or not. Then he tried to break in and get inside. So I had a video there. You had a time series timestamp along with it. Now this is mathematically driven. It's not like I can place something and put somebody and blame somebody. So AI works on two fundamental sciences. Earlier I said you don't require programming skills because AI works with foundation of physics and mathematics. Without the two things, AI is nothing. For you to interact or you to see, you may be using some programming and all that, but foundations come from mathematics and physics. So there's no question of errors out there. Errors can happen in what you see. If you write a bad program or you try to do something which you are not planned for, you may get error. But if you give a wrong data, chances are you get error. That's possible. So this is how we do this. Now what happens in this case? Could you move on? There are two ways you can do that. I said, if you have a regular video, we always carry our smartphone, take a video and do all that. And we think we are all citizen, police, helping the police, helping in investigation. We like all that, right? Because there's a phone and a video and everything. That's going to create a lot of problems because it's going to take a lot of effort to train AI on whatever quality of the video you have taken. You might have taken 10 minutes. 10 minutes means nothing for AI. And you can't point out anything in 10 minutes. It's not going to help. So how can you use that 10 minutes video and still figure out what the crime happened? That is where AI comes. Actualizer is from Fujitsu, that's a Japanese company, and they come up with a software for that. So what happens is you take whatever smallest video you want, even at 2 seconds, still you can find out what happened. You don't have to go for minutes or hours. You may be using the very basic phone to take that video, or maybe a very basic CC camera took that video. Some outdated lens was there, nobody cleaned it, whatever it is. Still you can recreate what happened and find out who the suspect is. You don't have to go for watching 500 hours of video, find out what happened and all that. So that is the difference AI brings in here. Could you want? Predictive analysis, yes, you can now find out psychological profile of a person. He or she is angry about certain things. The country is not working, or is not getting a job, or is angry with somebody. So you may want to show that anger in some way. Possible. You may get instigated by somebody. You may be paid by somebody, some radical element to create a crime. Or even to make a post. Or even to troll somebody. So that psychological part where somebody can be a potential victim or unknowingly being misused. Somebody instigated and told him do that, do this, and he did it. That also you can track down and probably can prove the innocence of your client. He is not that, but probably at that heat of the moment, somebody misguided and misused his identity. Second thing is forensic intelligence, as well as you can go with whatever you have, multiple type of evidences, try to create whatever happened in the crime. So could you move? Now what are the tools we can use? Maybe this is just for your information, there are a lot of tools available. You have what is called as NCASE, FTK, X-ray, autopsy. All these tools are there now. This helps basically. Now this is not going to replace forensic experts. No, don't go with that feeling. Can I become an expert myself? No. It's going to help them. It's going to help them take a better decision because it's going to give them a lot of insights which are not otherwise available. So if you say you want to learn AI, you may like to learn any of these tools. Don't go into this learn AI in 30 hours for 200 rupees kind of, advertisement. Doesn't mean anything. In the end, you will be learning how to use ChatGPT. That's not AI. So learn a tool which can be used, or at least no tools are available. And then you can decide whether to use it or not. So could you move? This is deep fake. A lot of narratives about it, a lot of experts talking about it. Superimpose some video on somebody, Rashmika Mandanna, this is what happened. You have every TV channel showing that what happened. Unfortunately, that's not how deepfakes are happening. That's a very bad cut and paste job somebody did. You don't edit video just like that, put somebody's face and call it a deepfake. Use a lot of technologies here. There's a subject A, I've taken even a photograph, I'm not even talking a live video. I've taken A, I use AI or any technology there to create a deep fake. I want to make sure what in A I want to modify. I can't randomly modify, I can't put my photograph there. The photograph I choose should be more suitable for any modification for my victim. Otherwise, that photograph does not fit in it. So I have to train, I have to find out, what all I can change in that without getting any suspicion. Then I take a B, this is the potential victim. I also find out what all I can make changes in that without raising any suspicion. Then I take A and B and I get C. Lot of work goes into this. It's not like cut and paste jobs. No, that's maybe you can do in a Photoshop or some video editing software. That's not deep fake. Now can you find out this? Can you find out? Could you move? This is how we find out. So many technologies we use to find out any deep fake audio, video, text, no matter who did it, under false name, sitting in some goddamn country, sitting in some fake IP, you can find out in seconds. You should have this technology. You can go to the split second when somebody modifies something. And you can prove the innocence of your client that this is modified or deep fake created. This is how they have done it and this is how we investigated. These are the evidence. Otherwise, if you just say, no, it's AI generated, this is deep fake, they'll ask evidence. That politicians can say, no, I never said it. It's an AI generated video. They can say that and get away because they are not going to the court and proving anything. It's for me and you to provide evidences. So many technologies we use to identify deep fakes, investigate deep fakes, particularly when it's concerning national security. Okay, could you move? Now this one more area. I put so many names there, it's difficult for you to remember, so I put infographics out here. So this is how we dismember it. There's new human intervention here. You take frame by frame, then you focus on what you think is a deep fake, then you allow AI to come up with its inference, cross-check it, and then you think it is fake or real. At every point you get parameters. Even if something has been changed in audio, you will know that. Something changed in photograph, you will know that. Somebody changed anything in video, you will know it with the timestamp. So this is how you present evidence before the court. That's government of Indian court or court abroad. They want the process, they want evidences. If you don't have these two things, it's very difficult to convince them. So that's one way we try to find out, remove. These are some of the national initiatives taken by the Government of India. If you are interested in learning about how we are going to use AI forensics, these are some of the initiatives the Government of India has taken. I would strongly recommend to the college to encourage the students to participate in this initiative, probably to collaborate with some of the institutions what I mentioned here. So one of the areas is National Cybercrime Forensics Laboratory. They have it in Delhi and Hyderabad. And additional 6 are approved. And one more was supposed to come up in Dharwad. So you could probably tie up with any one of them and visit the labs, work with the faculty there, and get to know what is happening in real time. Maybe some exposure you can get. That's one way. Second is, could you more? Could you more? So they've also tied up with GST intelligence and tied up with Digital Forensics Lab. You have it in Gujarat, Delhi, Calcutta, Mumbai and Chennai. And they're also trying to upgrade whatever the state level forensics labs are there, so that you get a lot of new technologies at state level also. So that initiative will be taken in 33 states and union territories. and that's an ongoing thing. Plus you have 550 mobile forensics van. You may have 550 districts, so every district has a mobile forensic van being provided under the scheme. So wherever the crime happened, with all these technologies what I mentioned, equipped van with all the facilities and faculty, the people can be taken to the scene of the crime. So that's one more area. Could you move? That's one, yeah. So these are some of the areas. Now I will not recommend rushing into learning something online unless you are clear what you want to do with that skill. You have a lot of courses online, which is digital forensics, cyber forensics, and all that stuff. Now, please make sure about two things. It doesn't matter who is teaching you. Find out what is the background of the person who is teaching you, whether he or she is having experience in that field. Second thing, it's important whether they are certified enough to teach it. If they don't have experience, if they don't have certification, and they are going to teach you something which is such a vast subject, probably you will end up learning very little. Or you learn something which doesn't help you anyway at all. Now, with that, I'd like to invite questions from you. Any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer. I think we have about half an hour. Any questions?
Thank you. The floor is open for questions. Volunteers will pass the microphone around. Please keep the questions short.
Good morning, sir.
You can tell your name so that...
Yes, sir, I'm Shreya Shivachan here. I'm so pleased and honored to attend your session here today. I have a question regarding LinkedIn that all of us use today. So LinkedIn is one where, when we go for jobs or probably as such. So the first thing they ask is, do you have a LinkedIn ID where we put in everything from our education to what are we working to where have we interned and everything. So what's your thought on that, sir? Is that safe or?
LinkedIn is not a job portal. It's for you to network.
Yes.
Okay. It's for you to network. That's one of their objectives. And second thing is, it can help you find a potential job or internship. In that case, I would strongly recommend going for a paid version. Your information is more important because whenever you go for free version, it doesn't matter which one. There's no segregation. It's like me putting everything in the street of here, literally, and hoping somebody reads it, and again hoping somebody remembers it and calls me for it. Doesn't work. LinkedIn or any networking site works very well. So it's a very good question you asked. What I'd like to say is, create your digital presence. That's important. Doesn't matter which platform you are. You're a student. You have certain aspirations, you want to be in a particular field. Fine, you can say that I'm a student, this is what I want to do. Mention why you want to do that. What motivates you to do that. We all know that you don't have experience because you're a student. But something should be a motivation thing for you to say that I want to do this. Are you doing it because 10 people here said this is a very high potential thing you want to do it, or you have certain reasons for doing it? Mention that in your profile. Don't put all the details. When people contact you, you may like to share the details.
Sir, but our authenticity or as such, our thing in the profile increases as we put on more details about this. For example, I've interned at this place, or probably I've interned under the judges of the Supreme Court or as such. So with that, our credibility increases in the platforms. So in that case, we are compelled to put almost all our details and internship experiences.
You can do that, but for whom? For whom? Only for potential people who are interested, right? Not for everybody. So what I would recommend is share that details with somebody who contacts you, wants to know some details about you, or find you, or you try to contact somebody and that somebody responds, and you like to share the details with you or her. That's possible, but use it primarily as a networking site.
Yes.
No personal details, nowhere, including social media, don't put your personal
But now since you've already put in, is it?
Let's extend the mic further. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
For cyber security to access the details even though they are using VPN?
Okay, that's a good question. A lot of people believe that using VPN, I can hide my activities. It's like I can use a setting on my browser, be on hidden mode, I can do anything and nobody will know that. As secure as that. There's nothing like hidden identity or transactions in digital world. Somebody always knows that for obvious reasons. Any service provider has its own terms of service. You would have signed that you downloaded the app or subscribe to mail or any service. You don't read that entire agreement. You just say yes to everything. So go into that fine print. It says tomorrow you violated any terms of the agreement, then you are liable. The service provider can file a case against you. So they always make sure their backs are covered. So in case of VPN, that's the same thing that happens. You have two types of VPN. One is free, and free doesn't mean security. Paid, it is secure as long as it's not a legal use. If the court asks for records, that service provider has to provide. Now, if I don't use VPN, I have nothing to hide. My social media profile is public. I don't hide my profile only for friends or something like that because I don't feel it. So there's something which you think very sensitive, you don't want to do that, then think whether you want to put it on social media or not. That's up to you. You can take it on, but VPN or any technology by itself does not mean somebody can hide.
Morning, sir. Myself Neha Jain, alumni of Sheshadri Brahma College. Now I'm pursuing LLM from St. Joseph's. I have a question regarding when you have mentioned about AI in forensic science. Sir, if a person is no more in the world and we just have the X-rays and MRIs and all other previous medical records only, can AI, it can detect what has happened, what was the cause of the death, and can it lead to a legal suit if the data is showing that there was some medical negligence?
You can, but you have to follow the process, that's important.
Okay, and in your knowledge, how many Indians are aware of this thing? Any case which you would like to?
Yeah, exactly, that's where we are trying to use this kind of seminars, so that we can probably share with you and tomorrow you're going to share with your students and everybody. Awareness needs to come. Because most of the times probably it's a missing link between industry and institution. So industry is working on a different level, institution is working on a different level, and we think that everything is fine. When you get into the real world, you find that there's a mismatch. So reason I'm here, or maybe Dinesh sir in spite of his busy schedule comes down all the way from Jammu and wants to share his knowledge. It's because we want you to make you aware what's happening. People have a lot of opportunities today. It's no longer like closed case, shut and on. If the court can be convinced that yes, there's a need to reopen that, reinvestigate that, why don't you try to do it? But what matters in the end is whether it's a local court or a court international level, whatever it is the process. If the process can be defined, it's a standard process, they use standard tools, and it's the experts who have done it, then that evidence holds good anywhere in the world. It's possible. Now, I didn't want to get into too many slides here. You can actually go and get answer in your question. If somebody buried somebody, maybe years back, it's a hidden grave. We talk about hidden graves. We don't even know what happened. And by the time you try to go investigate it, or maybe very few remains were there, or nothing remained, or whatever it's right. So how would they dug that grave?
when they did it, what was the weather then? How many people would have been physically present to do that work? What was the weight of the body when they took it to the grave? Every minute detail you can get from it. It's possible. But only thing you have to go through the legal framework to get any case reopened or reinvestigated.
Sir, I'm Sharanya. My question is on the predictive analytics. I wanted to know if there is scope for mistakes or have in your experience have you seen a person being wrongly accused because of AI or?
No, it's not wrongly accused because of AI. See, what I come to your, it's a good question. See, it's all data driven. We talk about prejudices or wrong judgments by AI, and I keep feeding wrong data to the AI. It doesn't make any sense of it. I can keep feeding data like, look, people from some part of India are notorious for doing this kind of work. That's my thinking, right? I'm putting a label against it and I keep feeding only that data. It probably tries to infer the same. That's happening in US. You have all this, immigrants, illegal people being dragged and all that stuff. Now that's going a little overboard because anybody and everybody who's a suspect, who violated a traffic signal, find out who is this guy. You came from India, target him. You came from Pakistan, target him. Now you're bringing narratives into AI and you're expecting something to be more correct. It doesn't work like this. So everything is data.
So with such racial profiling and prejudice, don't you think it's dangerous to?
There are standard methodologies to avoid that. You don't feed anything and everything there. There's a lot of what we call as filters built in there, governance being built in there. So it doesn't go by what I think about data or what I want to do with AI. It goes with what's the standard anywhere in the world. So that incidents where misuse of data or poisoning of data or prejudice of data, that's coming up. Probably not zero, but compared to what it was a couple of years back, you can say it has reduced to a very good extent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Due to paucity of time, we can take one more question. Is that all right?
Good morning, sir. I'm Scania from Bharat Institute of Law. I'm working as assistant professor, and I want to ask you that you have mentioned some AI tools, and I wanted to know that FTK tools and X-Ways tools. These tools can be used by the private person or by government authorized persons.
You can collaborate with all the institutions I mentioned there. You can talk to them, and because they already have the labs set up by the government.
Okay.
They will allow your students to go and get a hands-on experience there. That's one way.
Okay.
Or for whatever reason that's not possible, colleges like this can set up a center of excellence lab, so that whoever is interested, whichever college you are, you come here. You have a lot of free softwares available today. Open source, I think that's the right word, not free. Open source software available. All you need is take help of some AI expert, set up the lab, and you can start working on that.
Sir, don't we think that this will be the violation of right to privacy under Article 21 of Indian Constitution?
Why?
Because by using AI tools, we are interfering the privacy of another person, right? So don't we feel that it will be the violation of Article 21?
No, the problem here is we are not using any personal data. Everything is masked. Your name is masked, your identity is masked. Only whatever is required for your investigation, only that data should be.
Can we use it as the only tool for investigation, right? But we can't rely it 100%, right?
No, that's why I'm saying we have a lot of governance skills.
Okay.
Lot of governance skills. So even if I want to use a medical record, I can't just go to the hospital, pick up whatever is the medical record, come and start using it.
Okay.
Most of it is masked data. And there's a long procedure even for the hospital to share the data. Or even the police to share the data. They don't give the data. So probably they do it with the government agencies because they have their own internal understandings. But if you are, and I want to do that, there's a lot of approvals you require, including from the court. And you have to sign a lot of declarations, but you're not going to misuse it or violate any constitutional rights by doing this.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. It's a very valuable statement, sir. Thank you so much.
With sir's permission, can we take a few more questions?
I think we're running out of, yes, 2 questions.
Question. So I'm Rukmagan from Bharat Institute of Law. I'm assistant professor, sir. So recently in New York, actually a guy named Jerome. So he hired a AA as his advocate in New York court, sir.
Hmm.
So what do you think on this? Like in future, everyone will be hiring AA for their passive advocates, or will they get for advocate profession in future?
Yeah, there's a tool, sir. It's just a tool and it helps in any profession, depending on how much you want to use it.
Many judges are using AA for their judgments, right?
No, most of them may be doing it out of interest, maybe out of, maybe they're finding a help being out of it. But how many of them really understand what all AI can do?
But if we bring AI in the court systems, many cases can be solved in very short time. What do you think about this?
It's not solving short time. Say, let me try to put it in this perspective. When you say computation of a code, it's not computation of the existing process. Existing process, you can correct me, like if I want to file a case, then there's a long procedure there, right from signing an affidavit to, making the papers ready, going for admission, then for hearing, then for judgment. There's a standard procedure there, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, I do it in one level court, maybe I do it at district court, I probably repeat it at high court, I repeat it at Supreme Court, wherever I go. What AI can probably do that is, if I done it at district court,
Yes.
I come to high court,
Yeah.
then it can show what all happened in district court.
Yes, sir. Yes, exactly.
So you don't have to repeat the whole thing.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
And the judge can probably take an informed decision on that. To
Yes.
that extent, it reduces the workload on the court.
Yes, sir. They can rely on this.
Yeah, but it doesn't write a judgment.
Yes.
It doesn't write a judgment, it doesn't even say this is right or wrong, it doesn't do anything on that.
Yes.
It can reduce the burden. That's the only thing. Yeah, but no question of replacing judges, lawyers, none such thing will happen.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
There are a few questions in the
Sir, I'm from Bangalore Law College. My question is, what is the legal challenges for using evidence in the court?
I share a couple of examples, but because I thought other speakers will also have a lot of examples to talk about it. Some particularly talk about the legal aspects tomorrow, I understand. So I didn't want to get into details of it, but there are standard regulations, what is admissible, what is not admissible. Yes, we require a lot of improvement, there's a lot of scope for improvement in Indian courts, because it's a new thing altogether, and maybe we require more professionals adapting AI in the legal system. Maybe special courts, I don't know, fast track courts or anything like that, which are supported by technology people. Because it's very difficult to find out what is real, what has been modified. So you really require technical support there. So it's a collaboration between technology, legal and the judicial system that has to happen. Probably that's going to happen in the coming years. That's my expectation.
After the cases will be disposed speedily.
Sorry?
Cases will be disposed speedily after this, adopting this technology.
No, it can speed up the process. Probably that's one of the advantages there. And second thing is it can free you for doing other things. Like I'm going to give an example from medical field. Other time I was talking to a radiologist and he said that look, AI is going to do all of the radiologist's job. My job is gone. And he is somebody with 20 years experience. So he was worried tomorrow what will I do? I told him AI does not, it cannot do a radiologist's job. No matter what, it cannot do that. If you are thinking scanning is a radiologist's job, then it's wrong. There's a ultrasound machine that gives a scan, or a CT scan that gives a scan, MRI that gives a scan. The machine does that. The radiologist with his experience and skill will find out what really has happened in that scan. That can't be done by AI. What AI can do, it can say that, by the way, this person went through 3 scans in the last 10 years. This is history. This is how things have happened in the last 3 scans. Would you like to look into that? It doesn't replace anything. So same thing happens with any profession. You're not going to replace people, it's going to free you up. Probably instead of attending 1 case, you'll be able to attend 4 or 5 cases. Your routine, whatever is repetitive work, that can be reduced, but your skills will always be there. Okay? Thank you.
We can have one more question.
Thank you. Good morning, sir. Myself, Prasad Kumar. I'm currently a practicing advocate. A very common question is it a must to have a thorough hardcore programming to command AI or to become an AI expert? Is it a must to learn the hardcore programming?
I think I answered that, probably we're not there.
Maybe.
Itself.
Sorry.
Yeah, so two ways of looking at AI, unless you want to build something for your own, very specifically for your purpose, you don't require programming skills, you don't require any programming skills. And don't go in for the hype that AI itself can do its own programming. No, that's not going to happen anytime. So you have what we call as ready-made models. We call it as LLM. They are already available, irrespective of which company it is, and even in open source they are available. All you require is support from AI professionals to install it in your system, customize it to your requirement, and you start using it. Data is yours, nobody is going to touch that. Results are yours, nobody is going to look into that. But you can always work with it. You don't require hardcore programming skills.
Second common question. How do we avoid or put a stop to all financial transactions? I need to say fraudulent transactions. So these are the percentage of complaints in cybercrime is immense. So how do you at least put a stop? And I need to say, how can we avoid or trace such transactions where some person who is sitting in some corner of the world is able to take away all the money that you have in your account? So what is the
What I like to submit here is whatever narratives unfortunately we're seeing in the media about cybercrime. Unfortunately, cybercrime does not happen. It doesn't happen like that. It's not like somebody calls me and while I'm talking to him or her, somebody swipes my bank account and I lose 5 crores, 10 crores, whatever it is. That's a narrative. So cybercrime is something that happens over a period of time. It's like somebody gains your confidence, makes you reveal your bank identity, your password, your biometric, everything. They do it very consciously. Most of the time, they are not even aware they are taking all this identity. Then they misuse it. That's one way of doing it. Today, they are more smart. They don't want to waste time on doing all that. So, we use WhatsApp, sir, and the target.
Of course.
Yeah, okay. So, morning, what you get? I don't use WhatsApp. I'm just curious. Morning, what do you get on WhatsApp?
Of course, good morning messages.
Good morning messages. Good evening.
Some bad messages as well.
Yeah.
Because of the previous days radio.
Okay. Now that happens with everybody because I don't use WhatsApp, I just ask them. That's the main reason I don't use WhatsApp. What comes in this good morning message? You get a beautiful photograph, right? Sunrise, good day, some positive message, or some family, some smiling kid. Something that tempts you to look into that. Not even download it. Just look at it for a couple of seconds. Why do they do that? You don't even ask who took the photograph. You don't ask whose child it is. Multiple times forwarded. You still look into it.
It's all forward.
But we forward it. Or we download it. So what happens in that? Hey, you can see it on your own mobile. Any of these photographs will have a dark corner. We call it as a dark spot. It's like your pencil mark. If I write a pencil mark here, it's just a dot. That dot is enough for me to put my marker. Just a dot. So whenever you see that, you don't even have to download anything. You just open the message, you saw that good morning, good evening, whatever is that. That malware goes and sits in your phone. And anything you do with your phone, it records it, screen records it. I talk to you, it records it. If you make a bank transaction, it records your PIN number. You send an email, it takes your password. It records everything in real time, sends it to the cyber criminal. Now he or she doesn't use it, they are very smart. They sell it. They sell it to all the small cyber criminals across the world. And there's a price for it. And these people, they start misusing it someday when we are not even aware of it. So the whole chain works at different levels. So answering your question, as long as my device is secure, I am secure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roma ma'am, for taking this wonderful initiative. Thank you.
So I think Dr. Dinesh sir is waiting here, and thanks for giving this opportunity. Thank you all, and thank you everybody.
On behalf of everyone present here, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Uday Shankar Puranik sir for illuminating us with the depth of his knowledge and experience.
ಇನ್ನೊಂದಿದೆ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡಿ ಅದು.
Yes, good morning to you all. And I would like to thank the Seshadripuram College for inviting me, having me here. And indeed an opportunity to meet you again. I think we have been meeting, this is for the fourth consecutive year. 2017, yes, I have been coming. Yes, indeed I am fortunate. Well, getting into this topic, it's in the part of medical jurisprudence, the rights and responsibilities of doctors and patients. So before getting into this, I know there are a lot of students practicing advocates and faculties in law. And I think I've also a graduate in law, and I've been acted as a defense in most of the many homicide cases, sexual assaults, and also with medical negligence is concerned or medical malpractice. So this is one particular thing. Out of all this crowd, before I get into this presentation, I just wanted to know. So which area you are practicing and which area you are most interested in your practice? Means, as you know, everybody has this criminal law, civil law, immigration law, family law, environmental law. Is there any other thing which you are practicing up here apart from this? IPR. IPR is another one. Yes, good. Yes? Any other thing? Apart from those we mentioned now, any other law, is anybody up here who is practicing? Yes, I know this will be the answer, the silence. And by the end of my session, definitely few of you will get interested in practicing so-called malpractice law or so-called malpractice attorneys. This is where I just wanted to stress upon in this particular presentation. So, malpractice attorneys, India has rarely seen. Whereas you go to the Western country, you'll be surprised to know malpractice attorneys are treated like gods. Unlike in India, where we need to find those malpractice attorneys, we have to explore, we have to make research. Who is the one who can represent me, that is me, the patient, in the court? None. I've been telling you this is the fact. Because the senior most lawyer in Supreme Court, many times when they speak to me, they're totally ignorant. And those who read the names in the newspapers, they are totally, completely ignorant about the patient's rights and responsibility and leave about the negligence part. Then if they are ignorant, how can they administer the justice? And do you know the amount of budget or turnover in the Indian healthcare industry? This is what I just wanted to present today. And I would also recommend, and this may be a motivation type of things for all the young lawyers of your, take up this, consider being the malpractice attorneys. So, move on to the next slide. Yes, I'm showing the US data. You may be asking, why not India? Not available. India, not available at all. But the healthcare industry budget which India has is 10 times more than what US has. It's nearly around $650 billion of healthcare industry been going on. Nobody is checking them. Who are the ones who check in this society in a democratic country? It is you. You check the police, you check the politicians, you check everybody, but you left the doctors. You left the hospitals. I don't know why. So develop, it's a very big area which has been a potential area of practice. And your activism in this field is very essential, guys, very essential. We'll discuss about it. I think, as you know, there are 17,000 malpractice suits been filed out of 2.5 lakh deaths. Just imagine, for 2.5 lakh deaths in US, even in a country like US, the developed nations where everything is, they are law-abiding and judicial activism is at the top, as you all know, even in such a state, only 17,000 go to the courts. So it's hardly around 1%. Next part. And as you know, this particular malpractice errors are the third leading cause of death in US. I think hope you understand. The first, you have the so-called gunshots and other traumatic deaths. Then comes the other sudden deaths related thing. But the third commonest cause of death in US is medical errors. The patients are dying out of the negligence act of the doctor. The negligent action of the doctor or the medical errors. The medical errors is not only due to a doctor, it may be out of a procedure or a therapy or of an instrument or a diagnostic move what you do, that may be a resulting out of that. The errors may be in the form of a death or a disability or a damage. So this is where that 9.5%, that is the leading cause of, third leading cause of death in the US. Next part. Yes. As I mentioned, out of 17,000 cases which has been filed in the court in US, of the 2.5 lakh deaths, only 3,100 claims are successful. But in this aspect, we should all know, in one way we are satisfied, because all 17,000 will go to the court. Out of that, 3,100 the payment is successful. But for others, so-called out of 17,000, that is another 14,000, lawyers are successful. Because they have argued the case. They have lost, that's a different thing. But at least 17,000 cases went to the court and 17,000 cases was handled by minimum 35,000 lawyers. Minimum 35,000 lawyers have dealt with the case. So something is happening, but as I said, now you'll be surprised to know the amount of money earned. Are the payments made? Yes, next. Just this is the one. Just imagine, these are all in $1 million. Again, where is India? I am telling you, these millions will become billions if you start practicing medical malpractice attorneys. Everybody are fancy, go to the civil cases, take criminal cases. Why have you left this industry? I tell you why, there is a reason also. Yes, we got this amount of money in different states. Can just imagine the amounts going on in millions of dollars. That is a payouts going. Yes. Of course, the minimum average payment is around $3 lakh. $3 lakh. That means imagine how many crores, at least 2.5 crores Indian rupees. And on the contrary, let me come back to India. So, we are, as I said, malpractice attorneys. Just Google up, I think. Other statistics, at least Google should give some statistics, even that is failing to give us the statistics. Because we don't have designated, I am telling you, because many of the senior consultants, they do contact me, so how to interpret this case. Absolutely ignore it, including the judges. I am telling you, including the judges. Yeah. Next part. Yes, this is our healthcare industry turnover for 2025. Can you imagine? $638 billion is the turnover of Indian. So Indians, we can never say we are poor. We are the very richest. I can tell you, I have seen the American health industry, I have seen the British health industry. Ours is the best. Indian health services are the best, but the errors made in India, we don't have statistics, because the judicial activism in this area is completely zero. Yeah. Next part. Yes, the present scenario in our country. So, absolutely, as I said, a field which has been completely ignored, unexplored by the so-called lawyers. Absolutely ignored. That is the reason, because of non-availability of the attorneys. See, if you go to any law offices, law associates up here, have you ever seen a board telling that I am a malpractice attorney? I think you go to Gandhinagar, we see so many consultants, which I know many of them. So you will go near the thing, got hundreds. But have you ever seen any board, signboard displaying that I am a malpractice attorney, please come? No. On the contrary, patients' side, they are searching for the malpractice attorneys. Not only patients, doctors do search for the malpractice attorneys. And they get none. Not only this, even judges start searching for the so-called malpractice attorney because they're trying to find out where I can get the answer for this particular case of negligence. They don't know how to interpret. The reason being is, in your curriculum, its medical jurisprudence is being totally ignored or neglected. See, I was in the West, I was in the Caribbean, I was in the Mona University Law College, I was the faculty. I used to teach for medical jurisprudence and I used to teach this doctor-patient relation. It was very important and it was part of the subject. We used to assess the students. Their exams we used to conduct. But I don't know why in this thing, I think the administration will take note of this after this and make a recommendation strongly. I think we are advocates, we don't need the administration also. You can put an application in the court or to your university telling that this should be part of the subject. If you have not been adequately trained, how do you represent the patient or a doctor? So that is what is the whole significance of including so-called rights and responsibility of patients and doctors up here. Yes, few claims because nobody is encouraging them, and false claim because nobody is able to understand it's a right, genuine one or a false one, so they're going on making the claims, or no claims because no help is there. Just guys, try to understand, please try to understand. You have gone to a hospital, you have taken your mother to the hospital. She was hale and healthy as far as you understand. But what they do in the hospital, we never understand. You had to rely on the statement or the conversation what the nurse do with the doctor or what the doctor briefs to you. Maybe right and maybe wrong. Who decide this? You. That is what I want to say. It is you who decide. So you are going to be above the doctor? Yes. We are not going to dictate what is the treatment, but you are going to dictate what is a norm. And you are going to dictate if there is a violation in the norms. And you are going to punish him so that this violations is not repeated and some precious life has not been lost. So you lost your mother, you lost your sister, you lost your brother, but nobody is punished here. So instead of shooting somebody or stabbing somebody, help, request a doctor to inject something, he will escape. Is that the way? That is the possibility. Because nothing has been checked. See, though I am a doctor, I am in a medical college and I am in the central government, but why I have been telling you is, this is required not only in the side of the patient, even for doctors. Doctor will feel more secure because anybody can make a false claim and discredit the reputation of this doctor. That should also not be allowed. So this is both the way. And if a doctor has done some wrong, he should also be punished. All these things are essential. Why? It's because this will help for an efficient patient care. And who will be responsible for this? You. It's more than doctor. You put the doctor on the track. You put the doctor in the order. Or you put the whole health industry in the order. So that a patient goes to any hospital in the country, you will get the right treatment or his rights have been taken care. And at the same time, the doctor's responsibility and rights are also protected. So this is where is the whole idea of putting this particular topic in this workshop. Yes. Next one. Yeah, as I pointed out, a big blunder. So, and another, I think the previous session, Dr. Udayashankar Purani. So his topic is another one which has to be included because these are we can't go with the age-old subjects to be part of your curriculum. You have to change by times. Or else you will be one among the lot. So how will you defend? For example, the previous one, same thing, negligence, doctors, when the patient comes, or what you will speak to them until if you are not aware of what is the rights of the patient. So this is very essential, very absolute essentiality for the present times. And why? Because as you know, the doctors have been included in has been named as consumers. The patients are consumers. So they have come under the Consumer Protection Act. The health industry, earlier there is nothing, no sanctity now. It has become corporate. An industry, health industry has become a corporate health industry. So when they are dealing with business, definitely you should also treat them in a way you treat the businessman. Yes. So why malpractice attorneys? As I pointed out, why do we need a malpractice attorneys? It's the most important objective of having the malpractice attorney is you will be the take the sole responsibility for the efficient patient care in the country. If the malpractice attorneys are active, are there, I think that will definitely help in the efficiency in the patient care. See, imagine in the whole of this city in Bangalore, I am very sure the turnover of the healthcare industry in a city like Bangalore will be no less than 25,000 crore. No less than 25,000 crore. Have you ever heard any doctor being forced to pay out from your court for any negligence of the patient in at least one in a year? No. That means to say no patient is dying, no medical errors. Imagine 2.5 lakh people are dying in a state like US. per year. And India no deaths. Can you ever believe that? No. Absolutely no. So who is to be blamed here? Advocates, we advocate. I'm also an advocate. So we advocates. I'm a lawyer, not an advocate. But we are to be blamed. No, this is very essential. I'm just telling you, this is very essential. A patient goes to a hospital, he has to part with all his savings and earnings for what he has done for the rest of his life. Why don't you understand this? Okay, this man had earned crores of rupees. This will be so much, understood that he has the money. But the billing person at the reception never differentiate, he is a rich person or a poor person, the bill remains the same. A person from a village, he also want to survive. A poor man also wants his life back. A rich man wants his life back. But because the failure in this field is a rich man survives, a poor man not even reaches Bangalore. So who is responsible for this? So this is where we want to check even the prices they are being charging. Is it judicious? Is it reasonable? So can they, no regulations for this? Why are you not questioning this? I think this is somewhere, this should never happen. For a surgery in our government hospital, it's free. For example, hysterectomy or a small so-called amputation or any fractures, what we do in our central government, it's free of cost. But hardly you may spend around 1,500 or 2,000. This frame fracture, if you go to so-called NH hospital, Sparsh hospital, so let me not name the hospital, so-called big hospital, good hospital, corporate hospitals with beautiful looking nurses, attractive chairs and furnitures, with a good receptionist, the bill comes to not less than 8 to 10 lakhs. And if then the biggest thing is, the question you do have an insurance. The 8 lakhs will become 18 lakhs. So why not you? You are the one who has to help them. Why you don't take the lead? Because you are not able to understand what is patient's rights, what is doctor's responsibility. This is what I just wanted to put upon. That's what I requested them. Put this for this session, because I have spoken a lot of crime scene evidences, deaths, sexual assaults. No, this is something where you are losing it. Absolutely don't go against the doctor, don't favor the patients, but be impartial. See to that the right things goes to the society. Right thing goes to the society. The doctor delivers his responsibility and patient's rights are always protected. And if there is an error, there is a mistake, there is a negligence, there is a misconduct, there is a deficiency in the service, see to that like anybody is responsible, they are also held responsible, so that any poor patient in any corner of this country, he has been taken care because they are worried that somebody is going to question them. I hope this will be your lesson or a motivation you call, but definitely I'm sure somebody in this crowd will definitely come out with this. Yes. Yes, malpractice. Yes. For us, become the malpractice, understanding the doctor's responsibilities and rights and patient's responsibilities and rights is the basic thing. We're not telling this by the end of the session, you'll be a malpractice attorney. No. They use a lot of things. But definitely, at least you know that what a doctor is supposed to do and what patients' rights are. I think that will make a difference. Unlike we all respect the doctors. Yes, absolutely. You have to respect the doctors. Definitely, they are doing excellent service because they are supposed to be with the patient to elevate his sufferings. But if the same doctors, all his service or his values or his credibility is being measured in terms of money, then definitely the whatever image you have or whatever respect you have, definitely it comes down, because he has absolutely violated the values or the decency and decorum of his profession. That person has to be punished. And you punish so many people. You punish an actor, you punish a politician, you punish even sometimes lawyers. But I don't know why you have left this field. But this is more essential, right? This is more essentially, possibly out of respect, but definitely the doctors do deserve it. But on the contrary, we should understand, since the exorbitant prices, exorbitant money being spent on those investigations, isn't it indeed measured, or indeed so-called been really right? So this is something where you need to understand that we need to get into this area. So let me understand the rights and responsibilities of doctors now. Yes. So the type of relationship, a doctor-patient relationship. So a doctor goes to a patient, or a patient comes to a doctor. There is a doctor-patient relationship. So we have two types of doctor-patient relationship. One is the therapeutic relationship. Therapeutic relationship is the one, that is the name itself indicates therapy. Therapy may be a treatment or a procedure or a surgery or a diagnosis, any of this. So during this, the doctor can go to a patient or a patient can come to a doctor. So what is more important is the doctor has every right to either choose a patient or refuse a patient. Remember this. The doctor do have a choice. But in cases of emergency, the doctor has no rights to decline a patient. He has to treat it. If he can't, at least he should give a first aid and see to that proper referral care. Referral care is another thing. So again, it's a vast field, but I just put the terminology. Referral care has been put, and then the patient has been transferred with all facilities, due facilities, to the concerned hospital. But the initial care, the first aid, it is the due responsibilities of a doctor. So that is a therapeutic relationship. Another, we have other types of relationship called a formal relationship. Formal relationship. Formal relationship where he doesn't treat, but usually he examines on behalf of some authority. Authority may be a police or a magistrate, or maybe a third party, especially an insurance company or something. He asks the doctor, please examine this patient and give us result. There is no need to divulge the information to the patient. You can as well examine him and give the reports to the referring party. That's the procedure. But if there is some illness which the patient is never aware of, then you can divulge to him so that he will take some treatment or care elsewhere, or from the same doctor or elsewhere. But that will be a so-called a formal relationship. But here there is no doctor-patient relationship, because he has not come for a treatment. He come for a different purpose. So these are the two different types of relationship wherein a patient comes to a doctor or a doctor goes to a patient. Okay? So now we'll go to the important aspect. The duties of doctors or responsibility of doctors to the patient. What is the responsibility? It is a must. This is something, a responsibility. Yes, I am a doctor. This is what I am supposed to do. And this is my basic duty. Yes. The first and the basic duties. See, doctor-patient relationship. Doctor-patient relationship will be established once a patient walks into the clinic. That is a doctor-patient relationship. Not necessarily that, or if doctor goes to a house, to a patient's house for consultation, a doctor-patient relationship has been established. Not only this, if a patient calls up doctors on phone and doctor advises him, doctor-patient relationship is established even in that case. Though the doctor has not touched the patient, but he has heard him, he has advised him. the doctor-patient relationship. Now, what does it mean that there is a doctor-patient relationship? Once a doctor-patient relationship has been established by any of the means which I described, now the doctor will be the custodian of the patient. Any mishap happening out of this relationship, it is not patient, it is the doctor held responsible. Because he has accepted the patient. There is a relationship being established, so hence, now the doctor will be responsible for whatever good or bad happening with the patient. So once the doctor agreed or accepted the patient, the first and the basic duty of the doctor is to exercise a reasonable degree of care and skill. Now the question is, what is that reasonable degree of care and skill? What is that reasonable degree? So how do we measure the doctor's care and skill? Yes, we do measure. A doctor who is an MBBS graduate or a surgeon or with a specialist qualification, the reasonable care differs. For example, I go with a pain abdomen, I have a vomiting, I have pain abdomen, I go to a doctor who is just a graduate, MBBS. So he examines me and he gives me some antiemetics because I have vomiting, some antispasmodics because I have some abdominal pain, or if I got some infection, if he's based on his skill and observation, if he confirms infection, because of fever, antipyretics, that is anything with a fever, he may give some antibiotics also if he feels there is an infection, what you call it, infection inside. So that is a basic reasonable degree of course he takes all the vitals, blood pressure, pulse, respiratory rate, per abdominal examination, all the seats. That is reasonable care. Because that is something which is expected from a MBBS graduate. Imagine if this is the approach with a surgeon, absolutely not acceptable. Because surgeon is a specialist in this field. He has to first understand acute abdomen. There is something acute abdomen. You have to give a non-invasive or invasive diagnosis to see what has happened inside the abdomen. If there is some structure inflamed, or there is a growth in a structure, or there is an obstruction, or there is some blood flow being hampered, or ischemia, what you call. So in that case, you have to make a diagnosis with due diagnostic techniques, or he has to further confirm with due examination or diagnosis out of blood or urine or whatever, and then come into a diagnosis that this has so happened until which the patient will be under his care, and then he understand that there is an inflammation or a gangrene or something we into surgery, and he takes the patient to the surgery and does the surgery and takes care of the patient. This is what is a reasonable care expected from a surgeon. You understand? This is what the reasonable is. Once the doctor accepts the patient, he has to exercise a reasonable degree of care and skill, a due care. That is what is the basic responsibility of the doctor. I hope you understand. Any time of my presentation, if any questions are there, please raise your hand, you can ask, even at the end, doesn't matter. You got it? So, we have been into this field. I will not be disturbed. Okay, anytime, you can just raise and you can ask questions if you didn't understand. Any clarification, don't hesitate. Right? So, this is the basic, due care and skill. And once you agreed and you examined, then what do? You had to give him a prescription. How to write a prescription? You wrote something where only one pharmacy can understand. Is it a code word? No. The Supreme Court has passed a rule now. Now you understand, before Supreme Court formed this ruling, doctors were writing something which they themselves were unable to read the second time. Nobody was questioning them. Nobody was questioning them. That's what, who questioned them? It is the court. So which is helping whom now? A poor patient in some corner of the world. Guys, this is where I am telling you. You had to intervene. It's high time you had to intervene. You are not against doctors, but you are helping the poor patient. So, the Supreme Court passed a rule that now only generic names to be written, not the company. Company name you should never write, because you know why you are writing the company. The Supreme Court knows you're taking the commission. Yes, foreign trips been sponsored. My conference trip has been sponsored, not this conference. So what I mean to say is, you'll be surprised. Cars have been gifted. Cars have been gifted. But I can promise you, I haven't taken a single rupee gift from anybody. Never. And not only this, I never allowed anybody to take also. Yes, I am very keen, I am very firm on this. And similarly, I have done 17,000 autopsy, not even a rupee I have taken from out of 17,000 autopsies. See, and not only stop, I never allowed even my attenders to take money in my morgue wherever I work. I am very keen and I have fought against the system. Many times, many things do happen, but we have overcome all those barriers, never had an excuse to take money. See, this is how we have to put some values to our work. We can't say, "Arey, don't take the money. If somebody is giving, take it." Tell me what difference it makes. Money matters, either you demand or you don't demand. The money comes in your pocket, which is not mentioned in your salary. How can you accept that? See, this is where you should add values to your own profession, all values to your own personalities, and increase your credibility and integrity, because that is an identity of yours. It is not just going, "Oh, today how much I got." It has been measured by the vehicle which you ride or a bungalow which you stay. That particular lawyer, you took a big company, corporate law, that factory he was dealing with, he has made some 10 crores. I'm still struggling with one case. I had to pay my EMIs. Is this the practice you wanted to choose as careers? No. Fight for the right. Fight for this. It's not money or something which you should be identified with. So that makes always a difference.
Excuse me.
So yeah, I think back slides here. Yes.
I had a question with respect to doctor's duty, the second duty, that is reasonable degree in care that is to be taken by the doctor. So with respect to that, if a particular patient approaches a doctor with any ailment as such, and the doctor, though he is having a particular knowledge, but he has, as you told, an MBBS graduate has a limited knowledge as such, and a surgeon has knowledge. So he gives a treatment with respect to the best of his knowledge. So whatever, to the best of his knowledge, though there are better alternatives which are available. Yeah. So in that case, if something happens to the patient, the doctor cannot be held liable because he has done a treatment to the best of his knowledge, though there are other better alternatives. And the patient, he goes as such. So
good, Siddha. I think by the end of the lecture is a good type of questions to answer, because you'll get all the information and so the questions are basic. No problem. I'll answer this. Yes. See, this is one thing why I said end of the session questions will be refined. So because you would add an answer and I continue with further. That's the reason. So anyhow, I'll answer this. See, if the amount of care and skill is different from what this specialist give and that specialist give, that doesn't matter. What, as per the law, we should judge a person is this the basic care and skill expected from a graduate or a specialist? The amount of care, yes, I am a senior doctor, I have seen thousands of patients. So my approach, I can just by looking at, I can tell what is the diagnosis. That is his way. So I have just been a specialist since 2 years. So I will spend much time with the patient, and I will try to read the report not once, 10 times. And I will, instead of 3 diagnostic techniques, I will ask another 4 diagnostic techniques. At the same time, I will call up another doctor for assistance. Okay, that is all reasonable and agreeable. So it doesn't mean that this doctor is bad and that doctor is no. So that is absolutely acceptable. If somebody, doctor of same specialty would have given a better treatment, that better treatment is different. Basic treatment is there between both the two, has to be there. The basic, that's why we call reasonable degree of care and skill has to be there. So better care and skill, that's a compliment. So that's how we get, yes. So once you agree the patient, you give a prescription, we are discussing about the prescription, Supreme Court intervention, it has very clearly indicated, generic names, no company names, because of the corruption which was existing. And the second thing is, everything should be written in capital letters. The patient can also read. Not, these scripts should not be addressed in such a way, in a coded way, where a particular pharmacy can read. Other pharmacists has to struggle because that was not addressed to him. Yes, that was the reality. Because at the end of the month, the concerned pharmacy used to send him a check. Usually not in check, cash. In envelopes, it used to just reach the doctors there, even today. So, capital letters, generic names with all your signatures, date and time, and this is pertaining to the prescriptions and also its registration number and all this thing. That's a standard format. Besides this, once you give the prescription, that doesn't stop till there. It is the duty of the doctors to give necessary instructions. Means, speak to the patient. This is the dose. What time to take? Before food or after food? Once in a day or thrice a day or 4 times a day? Or once in a week? Or it's a single dose altogether? So, this is or with water, with so mix in water. So, this is what is the advice to be given. And the other most important is, once you consume this medicine or a drug, whatever, so if there is a reaction, please report to me back immediately. Stop the medicine and report to me back immediately. This is the minimum instructions a doctor is expected to give to all the patients. Imagine 3-4 medicines he has prescribed. And he says, you take 3 times a day. So which 3 times? Before food, after food? Doctor is busy because he has another 100 patients there. The nurse will tell. She has her own ideas. If he has given some money to him, she will be very sweet to him. If no money is given to her, she will have an awkward look and say, take this and get out. Possible? I think this is the type of nursing care which we are seeing nowadays. So, but the basic duty lies with the doctor. It's not the nurses or the technicians or a compounder or an attender of them. He is vicariously responsible. So that is what is more important. So instructions, and at the same time, certain third parties the doctor has to advise in certain conditions. Who are the third parties? Doctor is the first party, patient is the first party, second party is the doctor. The third party is anybody, the close relatives of the patient in certain conditions. For example, I have given a sedative. So, I will not only advise the patient, I will tell his wife or something, please don't allow him to drive the vehicle. If you know the driving, please you drive. If you don't know the driving, please better take him in a taxi to reach home, not to allow him to drive because I have given certain medication. Or if he has got some color blindness, tell the third party, sir, be careful, don't allow him to drive in the night. So this is the responsibility of whom? Is the doctor. Failing which, if there is a mishap, the doctor will be held responsible. This is what we need to understand. So, and especially there are some procedures or therapies pertaining to the children and the adults which are unable to take care of themselves. It is the doctor who should advise is for the caregivers, or the person who is in charge of those children and the elderly people. So if the doctor fails to instruct or give necessary advices for those caregivers, again anything happens, doctor will always be held responsible. So these are all the necessary instructions, care a doctor need to deliver once he accepts the patient. Means a doctor-patient relationship is established, he will be legally liable for all the mishaps, all the damage, all the incapacitation or the death of the patient, the doctors will be held liable. So that is what is the doctor-patient relationship, the legal responsibilities. Yes, moving on to the next part. Yes, coming to the previous slide, please. I think we have gone given instructions. Yes, the next slide. Now inform to the patient. The patient has come to you. What to inform the patient? Remember one thing, the patient has got every right to know. And nowadays, patients are reading medical literature more than doctors. At least they Google it up. Yes. Yeah, the previous AI. Okay, so they Google up, say headache, so many reasons for headache. The moment you read, your headache has increased double. And you come with a doctor. The moment doctor listens to him, his headache starts. This is somewhat something, craziest thing has been happening nowadays. I'll tell you. Because he'll be unable to answer her or bear her so-called frustrations. And her confusion with Google is something nobody can convince. So this is what is the biggest difficulty, but on the contrary, you should always remember your basic duties exist always, irrespective of the type of patient you deal. The one is speak to the patient, tell him what is his condition is. What is the present condition? And what are the factors responsible for this present condition? That is number 2. And number 3, what is he going to do to the patient? What is he going to the patient? Suddenly a girl comes in his clinic. He asks him, please remove the clothes. Gone, molestation case can be filed. Disrobing the section 354C. Disrobing the patient. Gone. He has to put all his earnings now. Huh? So, I mean to say, that is not the way. He has to first explain to her what is the procedure you are doing, especially if it's a female patient, a female medical attendant has to be there. So, tell the patient that this is what is the procedure. I want to palpate your abdomen. Please, you have to remove the clothes. My nurse will help you in removing the clothes. And you have a privacy. 4 or 5 patients are sitting, immediately ask, remove the clothes. Can you imagine the difference between this and that? And imagine if the doctor intentionally does, it is you should not spare them. See, this is where we want the intervention, not in the first illustration. Yes, that is done is right. So, this is the most important thing. Make him understand what condition is this, what responsible for the condition, what treatment you are going to give, explain to him. For example, I am going to perform the surgery. I will tell what is the type of surgery I am doing. If, for example, it depends, you try to understand what is the type of patient you have. A patient who has come from a village and illiterate, you are going on using your jargons and all terminologies which he can never understand. You should speak to him in his own verbatim and to his knowledge. Or another patient who is well educated like you all, of course, you will understand what he is going to do and you deserve to be explained. And you have to explain everything to him, what is the procedure you are doing, and you should also tell him what is the risk involved in the procedure what you are adopting. And the second thing is, you should also inform him what is the alternative procedures. Because the patient has to decide, it's not you. This is what many people doesn't know. And you have to inform the patient what is the alternative, and you should also inform the patient what is the risk involved in the alternative treatment. At the same time, you should also inform the patient what happens if you refuse the treatment. Informed refusal we call. What will happen to him? If all these things information, you can't do one-to-one, it has to be done in presence of a witness. And all these things cannot be established in the court if it is just a oral discussion, it is to be in writing. You understand now? This is what is called the informed consent or so-called information to a patient.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
During the anesthesia, whenever anesthesia is given, sometimes patients they go to vegetative state.
Huh?
After the anesthesia is given, they don't give the proper dosage.
Dosage, yeah.
And they'll be in death for all through their life. So how is it you're going to make them responsible? Very rarely we see doctors being held responsible in such cases.
Yes, yeah. I think, madam, can we discuss in the illustration cases, that one? Yes. Because it covers all the topic. I have 2 cases I have already put. I will include this also. Yeah. Correct. We will get into that part. Yeah. So anesthetic deaths we call. So we get into that at the end of this thing. Is that okay, madam? Yeah. So that it will cover most of the things. So that I will tell the whole approach in how we investigate that.
Also, how are you going to know during your autopsies?
Yeah. We will tell. I am the best person to tell that. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So this is the information which needs to be delivered to the patient. And now the question is, what if the doctor fails to deliver this information? All is well if nothing happens. If something happens, the patient will tell, "Nange idu helle irlilla sir." That's all this is. "Nange gotte irlilla. Nan kidney tagibittu." Just imagine. Huh?
In cases like this go across whenever there is a medical emergency. Suppose an accident has occurred and they are rushed to the hospital in the emergency cases. Can a doctor refuse it?
Yes. Again, I think you have to wait for 5-10 minutes because doctor's duty in emergency is coming up. Yeah. I think we should put the question in the end, I think that's a better part because we are coming to it. Yes, we have it. I'll go to the step and step so that it's easy for you to understand. And still, if there is something, we'll definitely. I will not go back to Jammu until I address everybody. Yes. Good. Correct. Yes. You keep the question for a few minutes. Right. So I think the back one, I don't know which one yes. I think we, see this prognosis is something. See, this is something, prognosis. You should always, the doctor should always tell the prognosis of the condition, what they are going to do. Means what is going to be the outcome of this. Is it completely cured or there is some error, something is going to happen. That is the duty of the doctor. For all conditions, the prognosis has to be mentioned, has to be explained. But on the contrary, what we see is, nowadays, like other business establishment, they say, Namatra bani chanang notivi, 100%. Avunatra hodre mugit. See, this is the type of things they are using. That is where I am telling you, you have to be active, intervene. So that if any doctor is deviating from his values, he is going unpunished. We are seeing in movie theaters, this hospital is best, 1,000 surgeries we have done, and one small child photograph, free of charge. If we see the child photo, we feel that, oh no, he'll oglebeku. Poor child. When you go, 25 lakhs. Just imagine. Because you are not checking. Completely ignored. Yes, that's the reality. Yes. Yeah. Coming to the duty of regarding the poisons, yes, this is very important, especially the medical practitioners, and I think more drug addicts which you see on the street today in Bangalore, where are they getting the drugs from? Pharmacists. All those drugs, street drugs, which are available except that ganja and all this. It is available, I don't know, ganja is also sold in the medical stores, I will not be surprised. But definitely it is from the medical store. Why? The drugs and the Cosmetic Control Act or the Drug Control Act, there are different acts, Drugs and the Cosmetic Rules Act, Drug Control Act, they're not being adequately implemented because the concerned office or the officers are corrupt. Pharmacy. Have you ever gone to a US or American or a so-called English pharmacy? You come to know how a pharmacy is. You give a prescription, you have to wait. Because they will mix the drug, they put the dosage adequately and they prepare your medicines and you have to wait in another counter, maybe half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, and then it will be dispersed. With all proper instructions, your name, all details, everything will be registered, it will come a big printout. You go to our pharmacy, don't give the prescription, everything comes in your hand. Is there a rule difference between that country and this country? No. We have an act, we have a rule. But why nobody is monitoring, not monitoring? It is because the judicial activism is zero. Nobody knows that we can do. Guys, get into this practice, you will also make money. Yes, I am very sure. It's more than money, you put them in order. You put them in order. Okay, this is where. So, why I am telling you is because I think recently one gynecologist, she lost a son because this pethidine and morphine which has been kept in a pharmacy, she never used to lock it. And a son was an addict. He used to use the drug. And only when one day overdosage and he died, then she realized, but it was taken from her own clinic. So she will be responsible for negligence. Though it's her own son, the case was filed against the gynecologist. So that is because it was her own son. What happens if other nurse's son or a patient or attendant is selling it off? And it has been happening. Because who is responsible? Doctor. It is not the nurse or attendant. Because it is the duty of the doctor to keep it in lock and key, maintain the inventory, update the stocks and put it in lock and key. Because these are Schedule H drugs. And Narcotic Substances Act, it comes under many NDPS Act, many of those, especially sedatives, narcotics, and they are all barbiturates. These are all the drugs which comes under NDPS, and it is the responsibility of the doctor. And if any mishap happens, it is the concerned doctor who is responsible for the hospital. They will be held responsible for the negligence. Next one. Yes. So other doctors' duty, yes, they had to report to the authorities, especially the notifiable diseases. For example, common thing is, of course, COVID, you all know, because many common people were able to understand when COVID was there, that many doctors used to report. And cholera, tuberculosis. Tuberculosis has to be reported. How many doctors are reporting? No. They report to the health authorities, though they come and give the treatment. Government of India is giving the treatment. You'll be surprised to know drug-resistant tuberculosis is rampant in Bangalore. I don't know how much you know, guys. I'm not scaring you, but it's a fact. It is not responding to any of those anti-tubercular medications available in the country. There are such type of tubercular strain is existing in Bangalore. Of course, the whole country, but more in Bangalore. They are still doing a research on this. So, but if a doctor comes to know, it is his duty to notify. So that proper research is done, samples are collected and adequate treatment has been given. So that the health ministry is aware such cases are existing. Not after hundreds of people, the person, it's a contagious one. I think you know, contagious one. So similarly, different strains of viruses, for example, Nipah viruses. If any clinic, if the doctor has treated such sort of fight, if he informed to the health authorities, just imagine, immediate precautions can be made until some thousands of people are involved, it become a health scare and it will not only ruin the country's economy, but it will take, many persons will die because of this, because of some negligence, but he will be held responsible. He will be held responsible. So, this is of course apart from the vital events, that's a birth and death, it is the doctor's responsibility. They have to register to the local municipal authorities. So that registration is done, so that it helps in the government to understand and frame the health policies and health distribution of funds. Okay, yes, next. Yeah, surgery, operations. what is the doctor's responsibilities coming in cases of surgery? I think madam you will one of it, so but we'll deal with that in the end as anesthetic beds. So surgery. Whenever a doctor accepts a patient for the surgery, first he should explain to the patient what is the condition as I told earlier and why the surgery is required in this condition. And he should not only the type of surgery he is doing, the type of, he should tell him that anesthesia will be given and the type of incision he puts, that also to be given, that to told. Though a patient understanding in simple terms can be explained, and you should tell him that nothing will happen. My experience always should, doctor should explain this way, that is, I have the experience in the past, I have dealt such cases in the past and I have seen no problem in such cases. Similarly, I will deliver, exercise my skills and knowledge and experience in your case, and I am very sure nothing will happen in your case. This is the way of explanation, not telling that, agala, 10 ನಿಮಿಷ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಎದ್ದು ಓಡೋಕೆ can it happen? And the moment he will say, "Yelle odagadagli," he will never get up on his bed for years. Do you think he will spare it? See, these are type of false assurances like they give it in the market. So, this product tagoli, nimge innondsala kemmela ಏನು ಬರಲ್ಲ. So, these are type of things doctors profession. It's not a profession of a doctor. Got it? There's a professional way of speaking. That's how we should when you deal with a patient. So, the type of surgery and the risk involved in that surgery has to be mentioned, and you should also tell him, first thing any surgical patient will question you is, sir, without surgery, is there any other thing you can do with medication? Because he is scared to go to a OT because doctors has put a big photo of OT with all masks, with gloves, with scissors in his hand. In the picture, you just see, just give me some medicine. Then you should explain to him what is the limitation of medication and what are the advantages of surgery. That is the duty. And the risk involved in not accepting the surgery. And what are the alternative and the risk involved in the alternative and what is the consequences of his refusal to this treatment. Everything should be explained, again written in front of the witnesses, and it should be preserved in your documents. That is the most important duty. And before surgery, you should do all necessary investigations like pre-anesthetic checkups. Second thing is, he is fit for the surgery. If he is having hypertension, if he is having diabetes, or he is having any other issues, the consultation only if it is in the patient's benefit. Then only you can go for a consultation. And again, consultation, its most important is you had to explain to the patient why are you consulting and what is the necessity for consultation, and you are transferring the patient to him, to a consultant, or it is just a temporary consultation and the person comes back. So when there is consultation, tell something. So it is your duty to explain to the patient in the presence of the consultant. At the same time, if you want to change the treatment, you should explain to the patient that there is a change in treatment after consulting. So all these things are the procedure with the consultation. And the most important things, there is no exchange or money fair favor. Cash or favors should never be the reason for consultation. But the reality is, this cash and favor has become the triggering factor for consultation nowadays. You will be surprised, even in front of government hospitals. Take any government hospital right from AIIMS Delhi to my AIIMS in Jammu, or to Victoria Hospital. Lot of CT scan, MRI, X-ray, pharmacies are in front of the hospital. But government is providing service inside the hospital. But why outside the hospital? Majority of the patient, they don't go to that pharmacy or that X-ray machine or that CT scan, they all go out. Why? And not only this, Immediately, if you don't find the radiologist in the government hospital, you will see them in already sitting there in the private hospital. And suddenly you hear in the newspapers, can you ever imagine? Newspapers, this information, have you ever questioned them? No, you never heard them. I think you might have seen Victoria Hospital today, our CT scan is not working. Can you imagine? Is it a headline news? Who is behind this headline news? Because let the patient go to outside CT scan. This is a type of advertisement. So that, and CT scan mission, abruptly it stopped. Many times our AIIMS CT scan also is stopping. Just imagine AIIMS, you know how many patients we see per day? How many CT scans? We do not less than 300 to 400 CT scans a day. We have the best machines in the country. But this is what is happening. Of course, when I become a director, we change the things. But definitely, it is happening. Because nobody is questioning them. Regulations are there, laws are there. The questioning is not happening because the rights and responsibilities, nobody is trying to or making an attempt to understand the rights and responsibilities. So, next, this thing. Yes. Of course, this is under Geneva Conventions. See, one thing for doctors, we don't differentiate, we should never ever differentiate a patient's caste, creed, color, region, religion, and nationality also. We are above all of them. For us, patient, it is a patient. We don't address his color, caste, religion, or anything. Language, region. That should be the attitude of so-called doctors. But unfortunately, nowadays, there is definitely compromised values. That is what is deterring the profession. Yeah. Next. Professional secrecy. Yes, this is something which is very, very essential, which always add credibility to a medical profession. So, it is the duty, see, the patients communicate with the doctor out of fidelity, the faith and trust which he entrusts on the doctor. It is the doctor's duty to confide those secrets. It is his responsibility. If there is a breach in this confiding of secrets, definitely the patient can sue the doctor for defamation, 499. Yes. Not only this, the patient also can complain to the medical council, state medical council and national medical council. Also go to the civil court to claim the damages if that has caused a disrepute in the society. For example, the girl has gone to the doctor. She has some pregnancy. She has trusted the doctor. Even her parent doesn't know. She is above 18 years. You can't inform the patient and her parents. She has got every right. As per the law, I'm telling you, as per the law. Though morally, you have the myths and beliefs. That's a different thing. So, she's a daughter of a big politician. Imagine. She goes to this doctor, a big consultant, and he says, I examine, confirm. And, suddenly he calls up to one of his political friends. His daughter got pregnant. Or pregnant daughter. Then after 2-3 days, flash news. This politician's daughter is already pregnant. Disrepute. Parents doesn't know. Anything can happen. It is doctor's faith, it is the professional, he has violated his professional values and she can definitely sue. See, this is what is the duty. See, this is why we have to confide those secrets. And yes, there are so many other things. So this is a small illustration which I gave. Next. Yes. So it has been, I clearly mentioned that it's our professional secrets, but there are privilege connections. That is statement made bona fide to the concerned authorities. Means when we make some statement in good faith to the concerned authorities, that's a privilege of a profession. So what's the privilege? The courts. When you go to the courts, I can't tell the judge, sir, this is my patient secret, I will not reveal. You know what the judge will do. Okay. I will give a punishment which I will not reveal. Isn't it? So you can tell that. You can give him, I am going to deliver such judgment which I will not reveal. The police will reveal. So that should not happen. So it is a court which is asking, and your statement you had to, because it is in your interest and the patient interest, you had to say that cannot be a privilege. You got it? So that is, of course, in all other things, one thing you should know, the patient is above 18 years. The doctor has no right to inform anybody, as I said, if you go to the pregnancy. And even if the parents are paying the bill, or if, for example, the person has bought his housemaid, she got some illness, you can't tell the person because he is paying the bill to you. No. We can sell him only if she gives a consent. And if there is favor, of course, you will be responsible. That is what is their privileged communications. So, moving on to the next. Yes, this emergency, we have come to your emergency now. Yes. In the emergency, the duties of a doctor, the first basic duty of a doctor in cases of emergencies or in emergency departments, emergencies may be anywhere, maybe something can happen here. But in case of emergency department in the hospital is to save the life of the patient. That is the basic duties of a doctor. If he has got adequate facilities, first save the life and treat it. If you don't have adequate facilities, save the life, give him the first aid. That's the basic duty. If the doctor is even not qualified, I am not a gynecologist, but there is some threatened abortion, or the person is, I have to do a delivery, and that is very inevitable. It should save the life of the baby or the mother. I had to deliver. If something happens, section 92 IPC, if something happens out of this emergency procedures, you will not be punished for that. Because in an emergency, doctor-patient relationship is not established. You are just acting to save the life of the patient. That is number one. And number two, you should take adequate measure to collect evidences, especially sexual assaults or gunshots. Something is there, take photographs, take the swabs, and you should give it to the proper authorities. Clothes, preserve the clothes, sexual assaults, many cases. I have dealt with so many sexual assaults, hundreds of sexual assaults. I have seen, especially with the hospitals, that take the clothes and throw it. It's a very good piece of evidence. But when we go, it is hardly 5-6 hours. When we ask them, no sir, we have taken, but already they have put it in the bin. I can't take the clothes because the evidences are compromised. But they say, sir, we don't know. So this don't know is something which should not be pardonable. What if she has done out of intention? Section 201 and 202. 201 with intention, 202 without intention. But we don't know, how can we judge with their intention or not? But there is a mistake, I lost the evidence. More than losing the evidence, imagine the victim who has been subjected to sexual assault, she will never get justice. So this is where we fail, and we have to maintain adequate documentation. The records, the medical legal records, medical legal register, issue the wound certificates, or you examine the sexual assault victim, giving the certificates, issue the statements or opinion to the police. All these things are very, very vital. Documentation, collection of evidences, preserving the records, preserving the evidences. These are all the basic duty of the doctor. Failing which, all the sections can be applicable. More important, in the emergency again, the duties, informing to the police, again that we have the compulsory duties, I'll tell you. So, this saving the life, emergencies. Yes, now you can come to your question.
So doctor can refuse the emergency cases at the point of saving the life?
Yes. See, in case of emergency, as I said earlier, doctor should never refuse the patient. It is not only ethically wrong, but also legally wrong. Ethically means we have code of ethics. So that also means it will be a professional misconduct according to our ethical code of conduct. That is, the medical council can act on it for professional misconduct, and legally he will be also liable if any mishap occurs because he failed to act at that time. He can't refuse a patient in a case of emergency.
So moreover, like doctors case the patient or their family members during emergencies, they are asked to sign certain documents. We are not liable if he dies or whatever it is. So what is your concern on that?
See, one thing, as I said, please sit down. I was telling your faculty, Rupa madam, I was supposed to tell after this session. I think next time we'll go for negligence session, because we have different doctrines. One is doctrine of res ipsa labrata, mal occurrence doctrine. We have so-called calculated risk doctrine. So novus actus interveniens doctrine. So vicarious liability. These are different doctrines which we have in negligence. So, and if there is a failure in diagnosis, failure in cure, doctor is never responsible for that. If, for example, coming to, how is that failure to cure, why is not responsible? No. He has, for example, coming to the failure in cure. Anyway, it is deviating from the topic, I will go for it because it's my interesting field. So, failure in cure. Failure in cure, the doctor will not be responsible provided he has taken adequate cure and adequate investigation for that condition, and his diagnosis is normally accepted by his fellow specialist or a fellow colleague of similar competence and reputation and qualification. If that is there, means he might have done the same type of treatment, adopted the same procedures, prescribed the same set of medicines. If he has treated, that means the court will consider yes. And despite that, he is not responsible. That's why we call medical maloccurrence or therapeutic misadventure doctrine. Again, we have diagnostic misadventure doctrine. See, there are different doctrines there. So, mean to say, not necessarily because each, but for example, I will give ampicillin, cloxacillin for some respiratory infection for her. I will give 300 mg. For him, he also got a similar complaint. I will give ampicillin, cloxacillin, but he is not responding. How I am responsible? Because his biological variation is different, it cannot be unique to a person for which doctor contacts. That is why failure to cure comes. You understand? Then I think that was the question which you asked, isn't it? I think that should be fine. Yeah. Failure to cure and failure to diagnose. I think another one thing. If he diagnosed in a wrong way, again, diagnose in a wrong way, provided if that diagnosis is been supported by adequate investigations, and if this is the type of diagnosis made by similar professional of same reputation, qualification and credibility, then if he also comes into the same diagnosis by reading the report, for example, there is a fracture seen in the X-ray. He has seen the fracture and he has treated. And he says there is no fracture. The same X-ray shown to another in the court, that's how they compare. So what you comment on the X-ray? He also says it's a fracture, then he can't be held responsible. This is how it is. You understand? So calculated risk, failure to diagnose, failure to cure. I think Supreme Court has many times told about failure to cure is not a negligence. Yeah.
In certain cases when there are patients are rare, the case is like 1 in a billion kind of cases, the patient is taken as an example to treat the disease. In that case, if there are 3 opinions, out of 2 are of like you should avoid the surgery, and there is one doctor who suggests like, okay, if we take the risk, there is a chance that we can save the life, and the parents, they take the chance and they lose the child. In that case, what should be the liability?
No, that's it. Please sit down. So that is the reason, the informed consent which I told earlier, informed, because it's a rarest case, it's very well understood. Usually such sort of family members will not accuse the doctor because it has been clearly explained. One is because the rarest case, and second is the complications are well discussed, and before the particular procedures, the opinions are always been varied. Despite that, the family has given a consent. Definitely there will be a long procedures and explanation, everything is documented. And if despite this, one thing we should understand, doctor's efforts are not there to kill the patient. Absolutely not. There see, the survivability of that particular patient without this particular surgery was hardly 3 days, 4 days. The possibility of survival of this child after surgery, possibly few years. Any fair individual would have accepted the second one. That's what the parents did. And it comes with a complication. If there is a failure, you have to accept. That's a reasonable and fair one. So I don't think it will be accused of negligence in such cases. Yeah. So moving on to the evidence, I think. Doctors in criminal matters, this is very important. Criminal matters. See, especially in the emergency trauma and emergency medical legal cases we call. Whenever there is a medical legal case, see, first thing is again, treat the patient, save the life. Gunshot has come, oh, inform he's a terrorist, please call the police. No. Treat the patient first. You can instruct the security or the receptionist to take care, and you don't go and investigate. Terrorist, hai ya nahi? Bullet or a bomb. Don't investigate. You treat and save the life of the patient, collect the clothes, take the blood samples, if possible, platelets, splinters, whatever there, take it as an evidence, and if it is unidentified, if something, take a fingerprints, all those things, see, whatever is required, you do it. And the receptionist, somebody will call and make a document, that is his duty. You should not start investigating. A girl has come and she is just 16 years pregnant. Oh, POXO case. I should inform the police first. Who is her father? Who are you to decide who is her father? Let the court decide, police decide. You treat her. You understand the difference. We doctors should know the limits. He can't be a police, he can't be a lawyer. He can remain only a doctor until he knows his responsibility and his limitations. So, first save the life, treat. Second is, take, especially inform the police. See to that he will not call up. Ensure that the information is gone. Usually we have a police information report. I have made some protocols I have given to most of the hospitals, right from injury reports to the police information reports to the sexual assault. I have made my own protocols, which have been, many convictions have been have happened out of my reports. So it's a standard one. So that they had to fill it up and just skip it. That's it. And of course, failing which, I think you know all that what happens. So that's how it is. Yeah. Somebody, yes, sir.
Yeah. First of all, my question is not to accuse the doctors. In fact, so I want to be very clear in what I'm asking.
Sir.
This is to do with medical negligence.
So
now, what is the limitation period for medical negligence, to report a medical negligence?
Yeah, it is 2 years, sir.
Okay.
Yes, but the maximum is 2 years.
And what are the factors to be considered in this?
Yeah, one thing, of course, the court definitely they will ask you why there was a delay. So we have seen, because I have handled a lot of negligence cases, so usually what reason we give is, I was not able to understand, I didn't know where to go, I had proper documents, the hospital didn't give me documents, and I was so incapacitated, I was unable to discuss this. This is what is the usual thing, and I don't know where to go. I had to go to the consumer court or civil court. Then suddenly I approached one advocate and he helped me. That's why there was a delay. And majority of the delay will be the health related they give. That I was incapacitated, I was unable to this thing. That's how usually they handle it. But within 2 years, they can even to the consumer court.
Consumer court.
Even in the consumer court, even the civil courts, at 2 years they do give a period, sir.
Okay, but initially we need to file a report in the medical council first, right?
No, that is one thing, yes sir. I think I will give that's what, it's a medical negligence related thing, but I will definitely tell sir. See, what happens is, we got the so-called Boehm's and Bolithos, I think you know, Boehm's test and Bolithos, especially for any case of negligence. After the famous Jacob Matthew case, the Supreme Court ruling, a lot of flaws in that, that's why Supreme Court also is not understanding. A lot of flaws in there in the judgment, but still that is taken as a basic standard now. In the Jacob Matthew case, it was clearly mentioned that the police can't, for 304A, that is negligent suits, once there is a negligent suit, earlier was the thing the police used to directly investigate and take the doctor in custody, record his statement and then procedure. But that has been stopped. The police can't decide a doctor is right or wrong just basis on a mere complaint from the patient. So what the basic duty of the doctor is, once the complaint goes, the duty of the investigating officer is forward the complaint with a letter request to the nearest medical council or a Indian Medical Association, a professional body. Any professional body requesting them to investigate and then give a report if there is a negligence or not. That means if there is a deficiency in care or absence of care on the part of the doctor which is responsible for the damage or death. This will be the type of, because many, I think I have dictated to many of the police officers and how to write, and then usually they write to Anandrao Circle, this medical education they write, and some people write to the Medical Officers Association. That is also a professional body, or they directly write to the medical council. Then medical council will make a panel of doctors, they will investigate case and deliver the report. Many of my cases also we have done that. And based on that report, the police will further examine and files a charge sheet. That's what is the procedure. So, why the wrong notion is there in the society is, the patient never goes to police. Never goes, directly goes to the medical council. Medical council will just register a complaint and they will take an action on violation of ethical practice. They can't compensate. That is what is important. They can't compensate the patient and they can't penalize the doctor. But they can definitely take his name out of the register, or usually they don't do that also. Because each one is interconnected. They just give a warning and the patient will just vanish one day because you can't spend the money. Poor patient, try to understand. You have to come in a bus, go to the medical council, wait for some time. They speak good English. This person can't understand proper Kannada also. This is what is the actual practical difficulties. So no NGOs or no judicial people are helping them free legal advice. That is not happening. Ultimately, he has lost money because of the treatment and is already incapacitated. Family members has been lost and now going to the medical council and nobody is entertaining him. At one day he will get a certificate, doctor is not guilty. But the patient family member is dead, and how he died. You understand? So this is, or the other way, falsely has accused the doctor. See, that is also, there are many patients, we have explored a group which was in Pune. 3 advocates and nearly 9 members of an NGO, their only duty was filing a false complaint against the doctor. See, I am active with the Maharashtra Bar Council. Every year I speak to the address Maharashtra and Goa advocates. So this one group was exposed. We were part of it. And their duty was to file a case against the doctor and then start extorting. So this is also wrong. That is why I am telling, how can the doctors be, because they have some money, you can't extort them because of false complaint. If there is a genuine complaint, see, this is what law is there. Your activism is not against doctors. Please don't mistake this. Your activism protects the interest of the doctor, protects the interest of the patient. At the end of the day, healthcare industry will be in order and patient care has been highly efficient. This is what is our agenda. Not against the doctors, or not only with the patient also. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
The second question is, how about the compensation factor, sir?
Sir, compensation factors is, again, very good question. Again, this negligence related thing, I'll definitely come. See, compensation factors, let me quote a case. I may not take the names, but this is a case which we fought for 7 years, Bangalore. Last Shivratri, a day before Shivratri day, judgment was passed and my client got 47 lakhs And you'll be surprised because everything was because of me, and I didn't charge a rupee for that. I'm proud to say this. I'm proud to say this. Why? You may ask why. It's not because I didn't take money. For this case, there was a threatening on me, because the doctors whom we were discussing is highly connected to a politician. They are stinking rich. They got crores of money. A big hospital. First, they tried to bribe me, and which was impossible. Second thing is they tried to threaten me. It was more impossible. Yes. And the third resort which they did was the police officers, they tried to delay the process in such a way, and you will be surprised how they manipulated the records. Despite all that, I told the family members, it may take a time, but I told them, none can escape. I'm I'm just not boasting, I'm a very different person. I wrote reports, I give drafting in such a way, no judge in Supreme Court can decline. So, after 7 years, he got the judgment. 47 lakhs he got. See, because he lost his wife. And he's got 2 small children. So another case I had put there, I'll discuss about that case later, yeah.
So could you please share the citation, the case law of that, the judgment?
I think not, the thing as I said, when I don't take money, I will never get threatened. So better not to reveal the names.
I was just curious to go through the judgment because...
But definitely it's on records, It's on records, and it has come in newspapers also. And see, what is important, and one thing I tell you, I don't know the lady who died. I don't know the husband and this thing. This is one thing you should know. Though they were talking to me, I have advised them, I have drafted for them, I have done everything. Because post-mortem I did. And it's my report. But only thing is, I advised as lawyers, which usually I don't do, but this was a plight which I saw because the officers who investigated were my good friends. You'll be surprised. The moment the body was brought to me, the doctors came to know whom they have gone to. They did such manipulations, they want to take it to Victoria Hospital, the body. Then when the victims, that husband and, see, you will be surprised, to my morgue, the husband has come with a small child, and that lady who delivered was hardly some 3 days, baby was in his hand. He came with this, only these 3 came to me in room. This is something, how can I forget this? And they try to put, some big doctors try to intervene and telling them, please, it is a question of reputation of doctors. You are also a doctor. Yes, I am a doctor. Reputation, yes, I am highly reputed. My reputation is not out of protecting your reputation. It is out of protecting my values, and my values is my professional values. It is not protecting a doctor who has done a mistake. I said, talk to them, compensate with them. See to that the case is not gone. But you don't want to compensate them. That boy has lost his wife, and still you want, because I am your colleague, ignore this. I said, my report speaks everything, and I also told them, you can never win in your life. I told him on the first day, you can never win, wherever you go, whatever you do. But that arrogancy was there, highly connected, money is there. But after 7 years, he understood my statement. That was the reality. And of course, it's all on record, sir. It's all on records. And another record I will tell you later. Yeah. So we'll move on to the next. Rights of the medical practitioners, of course.
Question.
Yes.
As you said, the emergency cases, if anything goes wrong, the doctor is not liable. But what if the doctor is into scam?
Whatever is doctor into?
Scam.
Scam.
Okay. Yeah. Like the scam will be like if the doctor is having a patient in his hospital, and he requires a organ.
He requires
A organ to transplant it to a
organ, yes.
organ. Okay. And the patient who is in the hospital, he need a organ, and the organ is not available. But what if the doctor uses the organ of the emergency patient who has come?
Please sit down. I know. Please sit down. I think, see, that's what I always say, judicial activism, why it is required is because Organ Transplantation Act, I think you are aware of, as per the Organ Transplantation Act, you are not supposed to take somebody's organ and put into an organ. That's not possible. I think you may not aware of this. As per the Act, the person who is a donor, he has to register. The person who is a recipient also has to register. And there is a procedure. And for example, he is in Sparsh Hospital, he can't do organ transplantation. There are designated centers which has been licensed, and there is a panel of doctors who has to certify. I think these are the procedures. So this story, I think, because you are not aware of the particular procedures, because in my hospital there is one person dying, another person wants organ, I'll take his organ and put. No, that's not possible. Because this act, that's why this act is there, Organ Transplantation Act. And that's why designated centers are there. That's why registration of recipients and donors are there. Even if the patient is dying, he will not get the heart until the first come serve basis, because rich people were having the hands on the organs earlier. Now the government has come with a legislation that you register, once your turn comes, you will get it. But you go to countries like China, Syria, Turkey, where this so-called terror organization, Hamas, this is a fact, Hamas, ISIS, they are harvesting organs. That is the biggest organ trading organizations which are trading organs to the European countries illegally. But in our country, that is not possible. This is the legislation that can't be done, and it will never be done. Illegally, I don't know, again you are there to punish them, don't spare them. But the days have gone, illegal things, as I am not aware of. If I am aware of, I will inform the police first. And if you are aware of, write to the police first.
Police doesn't respond.
No. Lawyers should not say this. Lawyers should not say if the police doesn't respond. You know where to go? Go to the magistrate. Lawyers, that is where common man is feeling the pinch. I go, police, ye complaint hai tagodalla sir. Have you ever gone to a lawyer? No, go to him, he will tell him where to go. But if the lawyer says, I don't know where to go, the society comes down. You know, that's why I'm telling you, our activism is very important for the society's prospects. Right? Yeah. Rights of the patient, rights of the doctor. See, rights is simple. Once a doctor becomes a registered medical practitioner, that is after his MBBS and internship. After that. Before internship is a temporary registration. After internship, permanent registration. That is, he will become a registered medical practitioner after his internship. And then you will have a registration number. Then he will be called as a registered medical practitioner. Then he can add the suffix. I am Dr. so and so. That is his right, and he can open his clinic, and he can give a prescription of any drug, he can issue any certificates. These are all his rights, and he can get appointed, and he can consult, treat any patient, or he can go to any house as a doctor, or he can entertain any patient. All his rights. More importantly, he can choose his patient. Not that he chooses only girls. Not that. He chooses the patient, means he has got to choose. Means I am practicing today, my practicing hours is 8 o'clock, or I am just a MBBS, some lady came with pregnancy. He can say, no, I am not a gynecologist, go to the gynecologist. That is what is choosing the patient means. Okay, not choosing only girls and boys or something like that. Okay, that's all the rights, and moving on to the next. Duties of the patient. Yes, duties. Now we have understood the duties of doctors and rights of doctors. Patient has also got duties and rights, which you should be equally have an understanding of this. This is very important. Duties. What are duties? The first important duty is once you go to the doctor, give him all the information. What is the condition? For example, were you drinking alcohol? You say, no sir, only since 5 years. Sir, only morning 90, evening sometimes 1 bottle, sir. Smoking, not much, sir, only 5 cigarettes a day. Or else, no, never, sir. Only for 10 years I have taken. Not now, yesterday I didn't take yesterday. I didn't smoke yesterday. See, this side of the, you tell, yes, you are a smoker. You tell, be frank, yes, I was operated for this. Yes, I had taken this medication. I had an allergy for this medication. You don't reveal anything, no, nothing, I am fit and fine and all this, and suddenly give this medication. Then he comes up, sir, earlier also I had this. No, why didn't you reveal? So all the informations, everything he has got, and more than that, you should comply with the instructions of the doctor. Whatever advices, he has to comply, and of course, doctor is eligible for the fees. He has to pay. And now the question is this particular part. Doctor, I think you might have heard in the newspaper, the hospital has locked the patient for not giving the fee. Not handing over the dead body because they are not giving the fee. The hospital has no right, doctor has no right, because they had to hand over the patient or the dead body. If their fees is not recoverable, they can go to the file a case in the civil court and claim the fees. But they can't hold the dead body. You know, that is something which is there. Yes, next. There is the rights of the patient. This is more important. We should know the patient, like the doctor has got a right to choose the patient. Patient has also got a right to choose the doctor. He can have every right. He can go to any doctor which he likes. It is his discretion. And he can go to any hospital of his choice. You can say, no, go to the only government hospital. That is his choice. We can't. Nobody can decline it. And once he goes to the hospital or once he chooses a doctor, one thing is important. He expects the doctor to treat him in a dignified manner. See, the dignity of the patient should be always respected, and the privacy. Privacy has to be respected and it should be treated in a dignified manner. He can't mistreat the patient, and because he is a doctor, he has to obey everything. That paternalistic attitude should be stopped. So you might have seen patient, hey, hello, Maliko. This is not the way to address the patient. Treat him with respect. He is dignified. And I think you might have seen the type of doctors and thing. In
labor
ward.
In labor ward especially.
In labor ward, yes. In labor ward you might have seen. Wow, bro, I think if any person, if any lady hears, I think next time she will never deliver. It is a fact. See, why? Because over a period the profession has been corrupted. Because they are being unchecked. That is where alert is required, not punishment. Alert is required. And why? Because activism has to come up. Activism, for you to be active, you should understand this. That is what is the basic reason of putting this topic up here today. Yeah. So, yeah. The dignity and comfort, between comfort and privacy. All things comes together. Treating with dignity, with comfort and the privacy. Patient, this is the right of the patient. The doctor cannot be declining these rights. And the most important thing is, all the secrets confided, that should be the responsibility of the doctor, confidentiality. So, the patient deserves, it's the right of the patient. It is doctor is not doing the favor. Doctor, this is how a doctor has to behave with a patient. It is his right. Like doctor has a right, patient do has a right, and it has to be highly respected. And it should be protected. Next. Yes. I also told about the information I have already explained. And continuity, yes, this is very important. The treatment has to continue until the patient or the condition warrants. That is more important. And the doctor can't abruptly stop the treatment. He can't abruptly start. For example, what if he wants to go elsewhere, he wants to go abroad or something, then he can speak with the patient and substitute with another doctor of equal competence. And then he can, days I'm going to US, you go wherever you want. That is then definitely doctor will be responsible. That is what, he don't have a right. Because doctor-patient relationship is established, legally he is responsible. That is what is the basic important thing. And another thing is right to know. Yes, right to know. I was telling about the Google part earlier. See, the patient can ask anything. It is the duty of the doctor to give a proper explanation, suitable explanation. He can't discourage him or disappoint him. That's why litigation starts there. Mistrust starts there. Confusion starts there. Suspicion starts there. So that should be avoided. So talk to him. He has got some questions. He will ask, what is this antibiotic? And he will ask questions, why it is called antibiotic? Why not biotic? Anything he will ask. And what will happen once we take inside? Why before food only? See, why not after food? How much medications can keep me immortal? Give me medicine where I will never die. See, this is the type of questions we usually come. And paracetamol you have given. How the fever comes? Imagine if a doctor don't know himself how the fever is developed. Then he will say, hey, then this person will start, doctor yenu barala. First thing is, doctor yenu barala means he has his notion is in his mind, he has prepared this doctor doesn't know anything. So this is why then he has already read Google, sir, this is how fever comes. You will be more irritated. He said, throw him out. Because of his incompetency, unable to convince a patient, arrogance comes out. So that is bad. You understand? That's how it is. And of course, patient has got every right to refuse. He said, no, I don't want to take a treatment. He's got every right. He said, you should not tell it. It's all the things. If you have refusal, this is what is the consequence. It's up to you. You have every right to refuse. And patient has got every right for a second opinion. He can tell the doctor, no doctor, this is what is not happening in our country. You have got every right. He said, no doctor, I would like to consult another surgeon. You can as well say, and the treating doctor should accept this. Yes, fine. Do you want a consultant, another second opinion? You know a consultant, or shall I give a consultant? This should be the approach. The best, see, our effort is to give the best patient care. That we should never forget. And patient has also right to sue the doctor and claim compensation. It is right. Yes, I have a right to sue. I have a right to be compensated. Yes, I lost my leg. I have to be compensated because the rest of my life I had to be handicapped. Yes, I had to be compensated. So this is what are all the rights. I think in the next slide, I think you have. Yes, regarding records, remember one thing, patient has got every right to claim the records from the hospital. The hospital has to deliver those records within 72 hours. At the maximum 5 days they can extend. They can't decline. This is something many people doesn't know. It's the duty of the patient, right of the patient to claim the records. Hospital, kodi, file kodi, one copy, set kodala. But they don't have that right. They have to give it. You can claim the damages. Because the moment they know this man is going to the court, that's what, and they will be surprising. Many lawyers will be going and chanting because they are not giving the thing. Helplessness, no. Record the statement and put it in the court. They have declined to give and it's been manipulated, fabricated. See, that's what you got so much weapons, you can use at the right time. Yes. The next. Summary? Yes. I think this is what we have come into a conclusion now. More important is the last one which I stress upon. Please include the medical jurisprudence. and all things in your curriculum, I think that will definitely make you understand this part, which is very lucrative, and it has got a lot of potential, and more importantly, this will indirectly and directly help in the patient care. This is very essential, and of course, we should not all know that it will preserve the rights, protect the right of the patient, also the interest of the doctors, reputation of the doctors, that is also being taken care. So that is what is more important. And after the summary, I would like to give some illustrations. I think next one, yes, totally say, this case, one hysterectomy case, where one nurse, this is a case which we dealt. The nurse undergone hysterectomy. She had some gynec related issues. Doctor advised hysterectomy. The hysterectomy was done, and after nearly 2 months, after 20 days, she started getting a mild pain, and she went to the gynecologist, and the gynecologist said, ignore, nothing will happen. After 3 months, she developed pain which she was not able to tolerate. The routine medications didn't help. She again went to the gynecologist. The gynecologist was very arrogant, and she said, nothing will happen, you take this medicine. But further, suddenly she developed emergency, and she was taken to another hospital, where they took a scan. They found a big gas piece was there, and the intestine was gangrenous, means intestine is dead, one part of the intestine. And suddenly they referred immediately to the OT, and the intestine was taken out. And she filed a case of negligence. Now the question is, the negligence phase case, when it went to the lawyer court, he was not able to understand how to proceed. This is where, that's why we are stressing upon. But of course, I was part of it, so we were able to help him, and compensation was done. The doctor is a senior professor, but she was forced to give a compensation. Similarly, next one. Yes, this is post-traumatic amputation, and this particular amputation, a patient was he was nearly around 13 years. He went and cycle something. He fell down. He developed fracture of right knee. Yes, right tibia and fibula, both fractured, and he was admitted to a well-known hospital. And they treated him. The fracture was reduced, and it was a closed fracture. You see, POP was put. And this was all done under anesthesia. Under anesthesia, it was done, and I think 8:15 or 8:20, the doctor left in the night, and the POP was done. Nurse was giving medications, everything. And by 11, 12 o'clock in the night, and the patient told the doctor, the nurse, that is getting pain. She told, nothing will happen, sleep. Again by 3 o'clock, the particular limb was getting darker and swollen because the foot was visible, and he told he's getting more pain. Again she was arrogant, and she called up that particular doctor. He said, give some analgesic something and sedatives also. She gave that sedative and those things. And this went on, and the doctor, again this person went on complaining. And he came in the rounds the next day at 11 o'clock. Not 9 o'clock, he came at 11, 11:15, 30. By the time he saw, he ran. So he said, no, I can't do anything, you have to go to Bangalore. Means this one big hospital, it was bought here. I don't want to name the patient and hospital. So that hospital he came, suddenly they saw, they did an amputation. This is not that picture. So they did an amputation, it's below knee amputation. Just here they did amputation. And the patient, the father met me and said, sir, this is a child, my child, I wanted help. I said, no, don't worry, please don't file a case. Before advising you, I want you to please speak to the doctor. I also told the doctor, see, something like this has happened. I think you should help those families because they are poor people. You know what he said? He said, no, nothing, it's a routine thing, and they can't do anything, I know everybody here. This is what is the words, he said. I said, fine. Then we did our job. Honestly, he manipulated the doctors for expert opinion of that. So I didn't say, I said, okay, he went to the High Court. he got 1,90,000 compensation. 1,90,000. There's some interesting twist here. 1,90,000. This was in 2001. 2000 he got the compensation. He called me. I was not in that place. Already had left. He called me, sir, because of you I got the compensation and I want to pay you. I said no. You got the money. I'm happy because we won against that particular so-called influential doctor. It's good. And you'll be surprised. I forgot the whole case. I had been to one conference. One doctor came, one lawyer came. Said one person want to meet. He was handicapped. I met, he was advocate. It is the same patient who has become advocate today. Bhagwan is God. And I said, I forgot the case, you know. It was just happened 5 years back. I was in the addressing lawyers. I said, somebody I want to introduce. I said, why? And this boy said, who is this? Sir, you remember? I said, no, I don't remember. What happened to your leg? Sir, I can never forget you. I said, how? Sir, you remember that case, I quote the compensation. I said, I forgot actually. Usually we don't keep the tab of this, you know. I was in a different state by that time. So he said, sir, it was me and my father, you have helped me and now I am an advocate. I said, good. So I only told him, don't spare any patient if it's been damaged or dead. You be a leader. You help those people because you have understood what it is. You understand. See, this is what it is. Help the poor, something which you can. Definitely God will help you. This is what is called as practice. It is not being measured in terms of how much money you gave, which actor you have sided, or which politicians you are acting, doing the law practice. I don't think that is how you should measure your success. You should measure your success as a lawyer or as an advocate. How best I am able to administer the justice or deliver the justice to the poorest of the poor, or the person who doesn't have a voice. Can you do that? You can. See, this is, I feel, this is the thing. Yes.
Just to help the poor. Help the poor ಅನ್ನೋ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಅವರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ?
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ತುಂಬಾ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು. ನಾನು ಅಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಅಲ್ವೇ ಅಲ್ಲ. ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಬಂದಿದ್ದನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ. What I am telling is, if I am a chief minister, or you make me a prime minister, I have the powers. ಈಗ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಬಂದಿರೋ ಕೇಸು, ಈಗ I am telling you 17,000 autopsies have done. Maybe some 900 sexual assaults have done. I can bet all the places where I think my name is sufficient. Not only to the police and even the courts. I have deposited American courts, British courts, Caribbean courts, and you don't know, still today my statement. I'm a very professional, very small person, but I'm a good professional. I can assure you that. See, what is important is, I can assure for my cases how best I can do. I can't change her. I can't change her. I am not an authority. For my case, I am an authority. And what I say is a judgment. I am proud of this. See, this is what we can do from our side, what best you can contribute. Some medical college, some think they are scamming. Let them. There are people to care for them. But you, how much you have done? This is how it comes. See, this is what we should believe in. We can't take the charge of the world. Not possible. And I am not doing this to become famous or something. I will become more infamous doing this. Tumba jana bayavaru idare. But I am not doing for that. Tumba jana hogaloru idare. I am neither doing for them also. I am doing for my satisfaction. Not because the media will take charge of me. No. See, I think we should measure in that way. I think any professional, in any profession is concerned. Yeah. Yes, sir. I think questions. Yes. Am I exceeding the time? I am, you know. Yes. Yes.
We have very little time.
Yes.
You take
I think you should tell them.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think
Well, there is,
Due to paucity of time, I'm going to request that questions be reserved for one-on-one interactions post.
Whatever you decide.
Thank you, sir. And once again, I'm sorry for cutting it short, but it was an excellent.
I didn't do it. She did it.
Thank you all. That is all we have time for today. With this, we conclude the first day of the workshop, Cracking the Code. I thank all the speakers and participants for making this memorable. I also urge you to join us for lunch at the Seshadripuram Law College campus, a 2-minute walk from here. Tomorrow, please reach this very same venue by 9:15 a.m. for the second day of the workshop. The workshop will begin at 9:30 a.m. Hope to see you all there. Thank you.